Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
What's up, everyone? How's it hanging on this Thursday?
Oh, you are the worst.
I am the worst. I'll fix the camera here. For those watching on YouTube, things are dark. We're still here. You can hear us, and those listening on the audio stream, you could hear us. The audio, the lightness and the darkness doesn't matter to you because, well, you don't have video. There we go.
Oh, look at that, man.
Let
there be light.
Although that's pretty. That is pretty bright now.
You can fix it.
I don't know what's going on there. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Zachticum with you here on the EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, Edmonton Sports Talk. Thank you for everyone for watching on YouTube as we work on getting the lights. Just there it is. That's the way to do it.
Now fix the shot.
Well, I will.
There it is.
There we go. See,
The nice zoom.
It's all there. We're
So,
all good.
You're doing it all.
We're all
There we go.
good.
A couple things here. Do you want to get into the liner right away or no?
Well, I just thank you for those listening at sportstalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio, listening on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, download those podcasts, give us the thumbs up on YouTube today. I never ask for that. There you go.
Oh, yeah, you don't, but that was nice of you.
Like, subscribe, share.
Very good, Zach. We're learning.
Thanks, fam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so he did the Instagram, TikTok, what's up, guys? And right before we came to on the air, I said, oh my God, that is the worst. I hate that. Like, who are these guys you're talking to? You know how Instagrammers and TikToks, what's up, guys? What's up, everyone? Hey, just me
Bring
here.
in another video.
And it's just like, shut up. This is just stupid. Stop doing that.
You just can't say that at the start of a show, like seconds before I have to intro the show and be like, I'm against this.
You were
'cause now you're
tempted.
asking me to do
And you
it.
did it. You did it. I just find it so ridiculous. And maybe it's just a me grumpy old man thing, but every time I see people and I go back and I look at their followers and it's like 17 followers. What's up, guys?
Hey, at least they're trying. Maybe.
No, this doesn't even count for that. It's just stupid. It's dumb.
I used to be
Intro
like
your
that.
damn video. Don't say what's up, guys. It's annoying and you're wasting everyone's time. And get on with it. What are you gonna hawk at us? What are you gonna tell? If you're gonna do a OOTD or you GRWM or one of those, get ready with me.
Oh.
I don't get it. And everyone's like, what's up, guys? Just me here. Could take it through my daily routine. So I get up and then they like stage getting out of bed and like brushing their teeth. Guys and girls, mostly women, obviously. But every time I see one, and it pops up because I have friends who are influencers. And that is their job. And they legitimately make a lot of money, which I am happy for them for. But I still think the premise is ridiculous.
They can say, hey,
but
what's
go
up,
get
guys?
it. No, they cannot. I don't like it. But that's how I know, because now I have a few of them that are this, and they do OOTDs, and they do get ready with me's, and then a day in the life. And it's like, why would I care what time you wake up, brush your teeth, wash your hair, use the bath? Like, I don't care. I don't care. What product are you wearing today? Where's it from? Give me the discount links and let's go. Let's get
Would it
on
be
with
like a 10-second video if they did that? You know, like 20 seconds, you got to get that. You got to get the...
No, Zach.
I feel like I
REM,
want
or
everyone
what
in
is
EST to do it. So you can see
The
how everyone's
SEO?
day starts. No, just to see
yeah.
how everyone's day is going. Mine would be just like, like to watch mine, you get ready for like grumpy Matt, just going, "Arr,"
Yeah.
being mad at you.
Yeah. Mine would
I
be
would
like,
not talk at all.
Yeah, you just come in, straight face.
Yeah.
Face down to the floor.
Wouldn't even look
Same
at the
trail
camera.
that you walk that's worn in the carpet already. And then
He's
Trev
got
would wake
hardwood.
up. Oh, I guess at his house. Yeah, but when it comes in here, like it would be
Oh, through
all the
here,
whole
yeah.
trail would be the same. Trev would be his chocolate milk, his warm chocolate milk.
That's right.
Sifting through some rocks, maybe. I don't know, comb his hair back or
I
something.
feel like
that.
when you wake up, you smile and do a fist bump because a new day is starting.
yeah, I wake up.
You're that
with
kind
the-
of guy.
Like I have the soft risers for my alarm, and I wake up. It'll be such a wonderful day, like
Yes.
a cartoon character.
I love that. There's so much anticipation and excitement and joy in your eyes and your heart. That's the beauty
Like I
of
do the double
Zachticum.
gun, like the finger guns at myself in the mirror.
Yeah,
and
you
then walk
would. I
out.
mean, it's
Yeah.
not as appealing as you just like fist pumping and like
Yes.
high stepping to your car and wearing some kind of thrifted outfit, some obscure jersey from the early 2000s that you found for $3 at wherever you go thrifting.
That would be it. Yeah.
No, that's good. Mine, you would just be like, all right, here we go, another split shift. Woo. But
The Americano.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Americano. Watch me make my coffee. I always have to have coffee. What's up, you guys?
Not me without my coffee.
Maybe you get a sponsorship and you'd get free coffee after that.
That's
That'll
what
be
people
all
do,
right,
yeah.
but I'm okay. Like I switched. I finally remember I told you I went to Costco. I got the 120 pack of the strong brew at Costco, which for like the first week was okay, but after that I was like, I'm done with this. Don't ask smokers to recommend coffee to you. That was
Because
the
it's, you know.
fatal flaw.
never.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
my
yeah,
fatal
yeah.
flaw. So I finished up the 120, and then I moved on to the Costco variety pack from Starbucks. It's been lovely.
Taste ain't the same.
I'm in a great mood otherwise, but
Yeah. Great.
when you brought up the like influencer thing, I was like, I hate that.
That really hit you in the.
Because
yeah.
someone did it last night, someone who usually doesn't do it, and a friend of mine who's a broadcaster, and they did it, and I was like, no, not you two. Rant over. Let's go. It's game day.
Let's go.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life's transitions. Canadian storage provider by Canadians. The Mother Day deal's on still right now. 50% off 12 weeks on all units. 75% off 8 weeks, 10 by 10 units, or 4 weeks free on selected units. What better way to make Mother feel good than knowing we're going to clean up for you? Don't you worry. Are the
Spring
mess
cleaning
we've
in full
created?
effect, right?
We'll take care of that. We're going to store things at Sentinel, so you won't even have to see them. Sentinel.ca to find convenient locations or to get in on those deals. This is the EST presented by Play Alberta. We got to get to Play Alberta over under in a little bit. Lots to get to. We will talk. I do want to get an update on your quest for 100.
Yeah.
We'll have to get a
Okay.
little bit of an
Video
update on
two's
that
out.
a little bit later. But let's get to Hango headlines. Brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, offering premier conditions, top-notch service. They're also the place to get your tournament. All-in-one tournament host. They proud host over 180 tournaments each year, including the EST Golf Classic presented by Play Alberta. Book your tournament today. Visit theranchgolf.com or book your tee time today by visiting theranchgolf.com. It is Oilers. It is Golden Knights. It is game 2, 7:30 down in Vegas. So maybe about a 7:50 puck drop. If it was like game 1, which means Tommy and Hernan and Cass will get you going 6 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live at Hudson's on Bourbon Street in West Edmonton Mall. How you guys feeling going into game 2?
Great.
Feeling calm. Surprisingly calm after
very
game
good.
1, right? Like,
Yeah.
not that I would be anxious at all, but just for fans around the city, like the vibe around the city is that people are calm, cool, and collected just because of a game 1 win
in a good
finally
place,
for the
you're right.
Edmonton team. So
Agreed.
it's nothing that, or something that doesn't really happen very often where they win that game 1. Unfortunately, that's how it is. And I think Hernan said it. It's like, oh, if they lose, like, don't be worried about it. I won't even bat an eye on the post game. It's just how it is. They got to get their ducks in a row, and they did. Well, I guess they got their geese in a row, the Canadian geese.
If the Oilers lose a game, Hernan's never okay. I'm just gonna say he can say whatever he wants going into a game. Hernan's never okay.
That's true. Having known him for a long time now, that is very true. He gets angry.
If they lose tonight, he's gonna be fired up.
Yeah.
And you won't hear La Bamba. I think that's the best part.
But you have to earn La Bamba,
Yeah.
right?
Like, share,
The
subscribe.
double earn La Bamba. The Oilers have to win, and then people have to get so many likes.
That's right. Because that's for the singing it live, right?
Yeah.
Although Dusty did rattle off a lot of sound today. That was we got a lot of OG content.
Yeah. I like the Slosh Clausen. That's still a classic.
wonderful.
Oh, he
That's
needs
got
to
to
get
be
back
up
to
for
me.
performance
It's
of
the
And what day he wants to come
performance
in
of the
next
year.
week?
Well, let's get him in here.
I sent 2 dates, and he went ooh, and then he hasn't responded to that part of it. So I gotta connect with him. EMG. What adjustments do you expect Vegas to make?
Try to slow Edmonton up in the neutral zone.
One, Alex Pietrangelo probably
he
back
keeps
in the lineup. We shall see on that one with that illness. That's one that right there. Slow the Oilers down, you say?
And they'll probably have to tweak their attack, try to get a little zone time, get more shots at Calvin Pickard, obviously, especially they had 7 shots in the second and third period combined. And there was a power play in there that the Golden Knights did have. That was the Connor Brown interference. I feel like there's one more, if I'm remembering correctly, but they weren't able to generate much after that first power play goal. That's probably what they were going to focus on. I mean, have a stronger push. You heard the lines. If you're catching the Nielsen show, they tweaked their lines a little bit. So I expect a good push from the Vegas Golden Knights, but I was listening to a few other shows, not in Edmonton, not Edmonton-based, not Alberta-based. Well, even one in Calgary. That win has a lot of people like changing their minds about the Oilers.
I was on radio in Regina yesterday with Jamie and I and Locklear.
Good show. Those guys are fun.
And Jamie's like, it's just, he think 4-5. He's convinced the Oilers now 4-5 after game 1.
Damn. A lot of people are starting to look that way. I still think it goes 6. What do you think, Zach?
I think it goes 6 games. Like Vegas didn't really show up as they usually do in that game.
Yeah.
They looked a bit stuck in the mud. They couldn't really generate much. And that could be because I think it is mainly because the Oilers played a fantastic game. It's hard to replicate a game like that, especially against a team like the Golden Knights, a goaltender like that, Nathan Hill, the next Patrick Waugh, or whatever Matty used to say about him. But he is a fantastic goalie. The numbers might not be fully there this postseason, but I feel like the Golden Knights are going to strike back, and it's hard to get a split, and to get 2 in Vegas is going to be even more difficult. I thought if the Oilers took a split and came back home with at least that 1 win in Vegas, that it would be a win. But now they have a chance, of course, in the second game to try and take 2 and come back. I feel like it's going to be a lot more difficult than it was in that first, and it won't be, the same game as we saw in game 1.
The thing that for me is I actually don't think the Oilers had their best game on game 1. Like, I don't think they were playing at their best.
What did they do that needed?
No, like I feel like there's more that they can elevate. Like, it wasn't a Connor Leon pure domination game that you can add to that team.
They banked 1.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't like I looked at that game and went, the Oilers were firing on all cylinders. Like, they weren't bad in any area.
Right.
But there was more that they could give if they needed to.
I know what you mean.
And so it's like, that's the part that I'm like, okay, well, what's Vegas going to bring? But the Oilers still could bring more if they wanted to. There's still just that little bit more where Connor and Leon go off for 3-4 point night each. And that's the part where it's like, okay, look, I was very nervous about the LA series. But I said going into the LA series, I'd rather see the Vegas Golden Knights than the LA Kings because I think the Oilers match up better against them. And now they took care of the LA Kings. But I stand by what I was saying, before that. I just, this Oilers team gets up for the Golden Knights. They bring the physicality. And game 1 to me just proved it. Like, it's a long series and there's going to be adjustments, clearly. But I just think the Oilers are better than compared to the one team. You just have to be better in the games you play against them. Overall in the season, Vegas did better, but I don't think the Oilers. I'm not worried. Like, it's weird. I'm not worried about them at all. I wanted to agree with Jamie and be like, yeah, it's 4-5, but I think Vegas is just too good. I got to give them a couple of wins somewhere.
They're gonna push, man.
But it's a good team. But it's also when I'm not worried that if it goes 6 or 7, that's not going to be the Oilers moving on. It's just, to me, it's just when do the Oilers win? In how many games? How much time off do they get before they get prepared for the Western Conference Final?
Ooh, you're looking ahead.
Ooh, yeah. And it's such a weird thing, and I know like the momentum has completely shifted in the Oilers' favor. Like starting the playoffs, it was like, well, no Matthias Ekholm, they could be out in 6 or 7 games from these Kings, and then they continued pushing, rolling on, had some fantastic games. They come back now 5 straight comeback wins, as Lieutenant Eric alluded to during Hot Takes on the morning show there.
Oh, he won that hands down.
Handedly. When I heard that, man, it was game over for anybody else. Given takes Trev and Dusty there, but the Oilers, I guess, showed a different hand than they usually play, pun intended. Of course, being in Vegas for those games,
the
right?
card games,
Couldn't tell.
Casino.
Couldn't tell.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to do my best, Gene Principe or whatever there, but
there's only one Gene,
and he's got the best hair in Edmonton media right now. Sorry, Tommy.
You're dead to me. I'm kidding.
Hey, he took 18 months to cut his hair. I didn't know it was that
He
long,
looks good. He
which
looks
was
great.
fantastic for him.
I'm
But
just giving you the gears.
yeah, I know. But no, the Oilers, like, it's always expected that McDavid and Draisaitl are gonna show up for your game, and they still did, but they didn't push to that extra gear because they didn't really need to, which is good for them to kind of have that in the tank, as you said. And if the depth can keep rolling on, man, like it's going to be a great series. Even that first game was fantastic. They don't need a Leon Draisaitl hat trick in back-to-back games, kind of like Dallas did for Rantanen.
Rantanen's just killing everybody now. Like, there's your Conn Smythe leader out of the gate.
Oh, that's a question.
Unbelievable. That.
What is it? 8 goals and like 14 points or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, he had
12
6 goals
points?
in the last 2 games.
Yeah. Hat tricks. He's the only guy ever to record 3 hat tricks in one period in a playoff.
3.
So all of his hat tricks have come in one period in each of those games that he's gotten hat tricks.
That's crazy.
Third period last night, third period the other night against Colorado. And was it third period as well in one of the other games against the Avs? I should know.
Yeah,
watching.
it was in that. It was in that final game.
Well,
was
he
in
had
the third
another one
period.
against the Avs.
Oh, he did. Okay,
Yeah.
I just saw
Yeah,
that.
he had like
last one.
11 points in the last 3 games.
Yeah, he started slow, and people are like, "Oh, Rantanen, oh, what a trade!" And then he showed, "Yeah, you shouldn't have moved on from me. Shouldn't have hurt me like that."
He has jumped to the favorite on Play Alberta for
As he should.
Because yesterday was Connor, Leon 1-2. It's now Rantanen, Connor, Leon 1-2-3.
Yeah.
Put Calvin Pickard in the mix. He's tied for the most wins right now.
Pickard wasn't on the list yesterday.
not crazy.
That I saw. It'd be almost impossible for Calvin Pickard to get it.
I know
On a
he doesn't
team that
have the
has
crazy
Connor
numbers.
or Leon.
Yeah,
It can change.
Well, but it's one of those.
But he hasn't he's been steady
Yeah.
and given them the saves that they've needed, but
This isn't Jaya Jaguar from
yeah, not going
04 or whatever that was, 03.
0-3 going loco against the New Jersey Devils, but losing ultimately.
yeah.
Like he's doing what he needs to, but it's not this. Oh, this is Conn Smythe worthy.
No, yeah, that's a good point.
And when you have Connor and Leon, like there's no way that the 12 members that vote on the Conn Smythe or whatever limited number it is are not giving it to Connor.
That's true. He won it
Maybe
last
Leon
year.
gets it. Well, maybe then that's why Leon would get it. But they're not going to be like, well, we're not going to give it to Connor or something. I forgot that Connor did get it last year. It's easy to forget that.
And then, well, yeah, it was Connor winning it when losing, of course, and the only other guy. Well, before that, it was John Sebastian Jaguar.
He was unreal,
right?
right?
Ron Hextall did that in 87.
Yeah, there was only 4 players, I think, and he was
Who's the other one?
Jaguar
first
deserved
skater.
it.
Yeah, Jaguar was unreal. Then he got his cup in 07. Who am I forgetting? Which other guy won a Conn Smythe without winning the cup? I think it happened in the 70s.
it was a
Conn
while.
Smythe when losing teams.
As Addy
Glenn
looks that
Hall.
up, Corey B texts
Glenn
in
Hall,
VR
yeah,
Montenegro's birthday. Happy birthday from the
Happy
Misties.
birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
VR.
birthday, VR. Hopefully see it tonight. Round of clicks for VR.
Roger Crozier,
Okay.
Glenn Hall, Reggie Leach, Ron Hextall, Jaya Jaguar, and Connor McDavid.
So all goalies besides McDavid then?
Reggie Leach was not a goalie. He was a forward.
Oh,
I like this
Flyers.
story. So the
granted.
in Canadian Encyclopedia.ca is where the Google grabbed this from. It went 6 players have won the trophy despite their team losing in the Stanley Cup. They name them all. Toronto Maple Leaf center Dave Keon was awarded the Conn Smythe in 1967. That has nothing to do with winning in a losing or
They won
winning
the
it in
cup.
losing cause.
Yeah.
So thanks for adding that in there. We
Is
really
that
needed
AI
that.
generated or is that
No, they grab it from that website.
Oh, okay.
So it's not even the AI generated part.
Yeah, but why would it throw Dave Keon in there when they won the cup in 67?
That was the last
and
time they won the
They
cup.
named the 6,
Yeah.
but they just got to let you know that a Leaf did win it.
Oh, good.
1967.
Don't
So
you know?
grateful. Yeah, I do. I know very well, unfortunately.
Winning 3 rounds.
Yeah, that's
I have
right.
to say that every time.
No, they
every
won-
time. They only won 3 rounds.
They
I thought.
won 2.
Would it
67?
been 2?
The Leafs have never won 3 rounds. That's the joke.
Okay. Even worse because
Because
you
that
have to
was
win
still
4.
a 16
now.
league.
Playoffs started April 20th and they ended May 2nd.
Yeah, that was still a 16 league. Like that was
like
the
that.
year
They've never
before
won in
expansion.
it with before, beyond 6 teams.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, they're up to nothing now.
I'm glad you brought that up because look at Bobrovsky right now. Yee.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. He played. I don't want to say superstar level in that first round. He's Bobrovsky. You can't really doubt the guy. He's always on that case. But
Nice reference. I like that.
right.
Well done.
That's my favorite Bobrovsky mention ever. But
Maybe the Leafs are it's their year.
you got to believe it. Well, and then Justin Bieber
Shut
skipped the Met Gala to watch the game.
Well,
Which is a
if
good
LeBron's
move for
not
him.
going, Biebs doesn't want to be there.
But his wife was there.
Ah,
So was
she?
LeBron's wife, actually, though. So.
Okay, good.
But
I'm thankful for that.
Biebs loves his Leafs, so
Yes, he does.
There's something, and I hate saying it, but there's something about this Leafs team this year.
it's a team of
I
destiny.
hope to God you're wrong.
Me too,
would say.
but they're up 2-0. They're going to Florida. They've got home ice advantage. If they can go steal one in Florida, that's all you need to do. But even if you don't, You're coming back home a 2-2 series. Like there's just something about this Toronto Maple Leafs team that it's a gut thing. We're gonna hate it unless it's Oilers Leafs in the Stanley Cup final.
That's true. That would be huge. That would be a behemoth final.
I don't know if the country's ready for it.
You said that a couple times.
I honestly don't know
and
if
it's
the country's gonna be ready for
It
it.
would divide a lot of people because there's Toronto fans all over the country.
Yep.
And out east, population is huge. They are the spectacle of the country. Toronto is the sports spectacle of Canada. And it would be like, whoa, it's like, well, the Maple Leafs finally break that curse that they have and get a cup in my lifetime since 1967, whatever, win, 3 rounds for the first time ever, and then win that 4th round and get the glorious Lord Stanley's chalice. Or will the Oilers get it? But a Canadian team would end up winning. But, I mean, it's kind of how it's looking right now. Dallas, though, is hard in the West, man. Like, I think whoever Avs Stars, whoever would have came out of that one is going to go push to the final. And in that East, I thought it was going to be another Florida team. But right now, man, the Leafs are showing that can't be messed with right now.
Well said. Well said.
Big Slam Nasty. You think ticket prices are crazy right now? Imagine if it's a Leafs Oilers final.
Well, we already know that there's a huge increase round to round. Cam from GCL Diesel pointed that out again earlier in the week, and our buddy Larry Ring. So that's like, the secondary market.
Well, like, what is it going to
nuts.
go for? And if you're an Oiler fan, are you selling your tickets to a Toronto Maple Leaf fan in the Stanley Cup final?
Yes. I bet they would.
For money?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Any day of the week. Yeah.
So
What would you sell it for, Zach? For money?
Hockey cards.
Yeah, clearly. I think there are people that would still sell.
Yeah.
what?
Not a deciding game, though.
It doesn't. But those earlier games, are deciding games, in a way.
Yeah, but there's something
You
like
can't give them
the
up.
cup
I'll
might
say
be
this:
handed out.
if the Oilers and the Leafs are in a Stanley Cup final, especially the Leafs, like when it was Panthers, you're selling to an Oiler fan for the most part. You
course.
know you are selling to an Oilers fan. There's very unlikely that a Panthers fan is buying your tickets and coming into Rogers Place to cheer for the Panthers.
Sad but true.
You cannot allow the Toronto Maple Leafs to take over Rogers Place if your team's in the Stanley Cup final. That would be an embarrassing look on this franchise's fan base. I'll say that right now, the season ticket holder part of that. That would be an embarrassing look that the Toronto Maple Leafs would get 7 home games in a best-of-7 series.
I do not disagree with you one bit. I will counter with there would be Oilers fans who are season seat holders that opted in for the playoff tickets and were gouged, absolutely gouged, and continue to be ticket price wise. The concession stuff, that's very much standard across every sport in North America. Gouged ticket price wise, that would validate selling because of how much money they invested and poured into those tickets in the Stanley Cup final. I guarantee that someone will be like, I could get $2,500 for this ticket for game 3. I'm going to do it. I could get $5,000 for this ticket for game 6. I would do it. Like, I guarantee you there would be a good fraction of Oilers fans that would just be like, the price was too good, man. This guy offered me $10,000 for those seats. Had to take it. It took a big chunk out of what I paid for those playoff tickets.
I get that too, but I feel like that's
you're
putting the team. You're putting yourself ahead of the team. And if you're a fan that has the season ticket,
put your wallet ahead of the team.
But it doesn't. Then you're not. You're
not a true fan.
You lose some of your fandom. Straight up, you lose some of your fandom.
Why don't I have cereal this morning? Well, Papa needed Oilers season tickets, and they gouged me in the playoffs, baby.
Well, you could then not buy them.
I know.
Don't buy the Stanley Cup round.
I'm just making an extreme example.
If you have the money to go buy those tickets, I'm sorry, you cannot be going to get your payday on that and claim to be such a great Oiler fan at that point.
Your
I'm
argument
a
is
fan of
sound.
money.
That's the like.
Yeah.
And now in the end, this starts with the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers should not have put ticket prices where people look at this and go, "Well, I need to sell games to make money back because this is so ridiculously priced." It starts there. That's the root of the cause. There is still the Edmonton Oilers, But they're not
course.
changing at this point.
No, because they know they're going to get paid.
You have to bite the bullet yourself to not allow the Toronto Maple Leafs to run it. Because if the Leafs come and roll through town, the Oilers fan base couldn't claim anymore, at least because of the season ticket holders at that point, that they're the best fan base in hockey. You can't claim that at that point.
On the flip side, though, how many Oilers fans do you think are going to be in Toronto?
None. I think that all Toronto fans, there's way more Leafs fans in Toronto, and then of course, like nationwide, there's a lot of them, and they have deep pockets, just sheer volume of numbers. Like there'll be a smattering. This is all hypothetical, obviously. A smattering of Oiler fans that would get in, but not many. Not compared to like that are going to be down in Vegas tonight, that made it down to Florida last year, which was great to see. Oilers fans travel so very well. But that is one where I think Leafs fans and the ones with all the money, the deep pockets of corporations, will just keep Edmonton fans out as best as possible. And I think they're going to be pretty effective. All hypothetical.
And who wants to take a vacation to Toronto anyway?
Toronto's okay.
I'm kidding.
I'd rather go to Montreal.
Yeah, that's it. Like Oiler fans go to Florida because tickets are cheaper. Oilers fans can go to Vegas right now because tickets are cheaper than what you're here. If you go to Toronto to Leafs game, they're going to be expensive. But
and you get to go to Vegas, like
yeah, Vegas is fun.
Double-edged sword.
So Big Uke, you're downtown Elysium and Shoy, Matt. Tell me you go to games for free as media without telling me you go to games for free as media. Well, I wouldn't go to games if I didn't have the media pass. Like I wouldn't pay those prices. But I'll say this right now. Imagine if you're the Edmonton Oilers. You're one of those players. Game 3 of the Stanley Cup final. You're back home. Whatever it is, I don't care what the series is. You come out on the ice and you're not getting cheered because the visiting team's getting cheered. That's a good look for Oiler fans there, Big Uke. That's a good thing for Oiler fans there. No chance. That would look embarrassing on the season ticket holder fan base. If you can't, if you don't want, like that is the predicament there. You want to sell to Florida fans, whatever. There's not a lot. They're not taking over the barn. But you want to give up the barn and allow the Toronto Maple Leafs to have 7 home games then in the end. That's not, to me, that's not what the fans are supposed to be there at a sporting event. You're supposed to be there to support your team, to amplify your team. We talk about how great of an atmosphere Rogers Place can be and Rexall Place was. You're giving that up. You're not helping your team win a Stanley Cup. Oh, if the Oilers had home ice advantage in Game 7, we would have won the Stanley Cup last year. Well, so now you're going to give it up because of your pocket?
I think the answer to that is yes in a lot of cases.
I know it's going to be a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that is poor fandom.
I get it, but that's you're stuck in that's a jam. That's a jam because like a text comes in and says, you're passing up 10K in this economy. And then the other point this texter made, again, in the system on my phone doesn't show all the names. When has the team or OEG put the fan first ever?
Never.
Yeah.
But that's not the players.
That's not.
But
the players.
I was told by all from all these guys in the nasty chat, like Justin Belgoni and Aidan O'Neill, all you guys are saying that coming into the playoffs and coming in through this, home ice matters, home ice matters, home ice matters. Well, it doesn't matter if your fans are just going to sell their tickets.
And even during regular season games, like when the Leafs come here to Edmonton to play, it sounds like it's a Toronto.
Well,
bar.
Half the building is Leafs fans.
I know, which is wild. You close your eyes when you're watching the game.
Yeah.
You're like, where is this game at right now?
I know.
So hypothetically, of course, if that happens in the playoffs.
Lots of hockey left to be.
There's a lot to get to there, but I get it starts with the Oilers and their pricing is ridiculously high.
Yes.
But if you're going to allow the Toronto Maple Leafs, if that's the thing to take over, I never want to hear home ice advantage again when it comes to this fan base.
I know for a fact, I have friends who 100%, as much as they love the Edmonton Oilers and as much as they invest in the team, buying tickets, getting season seats, if they had the opportunity to sell a ticket or 2 tickets for $5,000, $8,000, $10,000, if it's a Stanley Cup final against Toronto, they would happily do it. And I could bring up your argument to them and they'd be like, well, you can't pass up that price.
And I get that. And you're looking out for yourself at that point. And that's fine.
Yeah. And I think
but your fandom takes a hit. Your fandom takes a hit.
And that's fair.
And I'm sorry. And people don't want to hear that. And they're not liking that. Your fandom is taking a hit. And that's cool. You want to put your interest ahead. That's fine. And I'm not going to say you shouldn't do that part. But you then can't claim that this Oiler fan base then, and this would be on the season ticket holders because they're the ones with the tickets, are the best fan base ever.
Just to reemphasize, this is a what if scenario.
I like this scenario. Though. This is a fun
It's
one.
kind of neat to talk about because the Leafs are on a roll. They just won another game. They're trying to punch their ticket to the conference final out east. Edmonton looked good in game one, but we're having that what if, and it's a hypothetical. But Maddie, you make a good point, and you're right, Zach. There's lots of hockey left to be played, and I do know my friends and and they are just classic Edmontonians who would do that.
I will say this. How many times over the last years has Arizona been mocked because Oiler fans go down and make it their
All
home
the
barn?
time.
Exactly. It's the same
Rightly
thing
so.
at that point. It becomes the exact same thing. The fact that you, as some of you, mocked other franchises for giving up their tickets so that you, as Oiler fans, could take over, you would be doing the exact same thing. And it's the same for them. They're trying to make money. They're taking advantage of the people that are going to willing to pay more. It'd be the same here, taking advantage of Toronto Maple Leafs fans. But you mock those franchises, you mock those fan bases, and you mock those arenas. If that were to ever happen, you lost your moral high ground at that
How
point.
much money are you willing to pay for an Oilers Stanley Cup
they pay
season ticket holders?
Oilers
A
fans
lot.
pay a lot.
A
They
lot.
really do. They get fleeced. Dirty Curdy.
Well, it's not the Oilers are a premium product now. They're higher than a premium product.
Yeah.
That's the reality of where this has gone because that's
There's
just who they are.
demand,
The
craze for the
demand,
fan- from the
smaller,
fan
like
base, which is
the Yankees
small
are the biggest
market.
team in New York. You can go to games rather cheaper than 81 home games.
Yeah.
They have so many
It
games.
changes.
Yeah.
Oilers,
so many
you've got
games,
41,
40,000 seat
but there's
stadium.
such a
So
demand.
you're saying we
There's
should
18,000.
extend the games from 82 to 84? No, I'm kidding. No. Never. It'll never happen.
Now you're
It'll
being a
never
silly G.
happen. I
You
know.
know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
I
Do
know.
we
I
even
didn't-
say that
I didn't
here?
say. Well, we're allowed to in this. This is a tree of trust.
Okay.
Dirty Curdy says, I sit in section 202. Face value for cup final is $812 per seat. So imagine you're in Dirty Curdy's situation. You paid $812 per seat, 3 games potentially, because the Oilers wouldn't have home ice advantage in this hypothetical against Toronto. And someone's offering you for that one seat $2,500 or $3,000. You're like, that eats into how much I paid to go through rounds 3 and all the way to 3.
All the thrifted
1 to
hockey cards
3.
I could get.
Well, you would think that, but it's interesting because I think that a lot of people would be like, you know what, I'm going to take the money because I've been getting fleeced for years. Corey B says, we got a lot of texts coming in. Keep those coming in, 780-218-9999. Maddie's talking fan tiers. I'm not a tier 1 fan, I guess. I'm not paying those prices. Corey B, I think a
didn't
lot of
ask
people
you to
aren't.
pay those prices.
No, I know.
I'm not. That's not Corey B. I didn't say the people should be paying those prices. I'm saying if you're a season ticket holder that bought your ticket, giving up your seat to give it for because it'll be a Leafs fan buying those. That's the issue. It's not the fact Oilers fans aren't going and paying for them. It's not the issue.
Yeah.
It's that if you've paid for your ticket for that already, and it's the Leafs that are coming to town, and you're gonna allow the Leafs fans then to take over, you shouldn't be selling those tickets.
So what happens if you're a season ticket holder and you don't choose to buy the ticket?
If you
Does
don't
it go
choose to
up?
buy the round, ticket goes
they go
for
to
sale.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
just
I was
up
like,
to
yeah, they're
market.
not going to leave empty seats for sure.
Edmontonian in Ontario says, Matty, honest answer, please. Game 6, you paid $1,000 for your ticket. You're offered 5 Gs. What do you do?
Look, I don't know. I'm not in that situation. But if I take the money, I can't claim to be such a huge fan at that point.
So you take the hit
That's
as
my
a
point. I'm
fan.
saying you're taking a hit as a fan.
Yeah.
And the fan base, the perception around this fan base takes a hit. That's just the reality of that.
If
And
that
if you
were to
want
happen,
to whine about that, sorry, that's just how it goes. Not saying you shouldn't take the money. Not saying don't go take that money 100% if that's what's best for you. And
Right.
do what you do. I don't want to tell people what to do with their money. If you bought season tickets, though, and you sell those to Leafs fans, because that's who's buying them.
If that situation
If that situation, your fandom takes a hit at that point. You put yourself ahead. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. But your fandom takes a hit because you're allowing the Toronto Maple Leafs to take over Rogers Place and make it another home game. And this is a fan base that has mocked other fan bases for their season ticket holders selling tickets. And other franchises selling tickets to the Oilers, and the Oilers taking over other rinks, and you've mocked them. Now you're going to do that in the biggest series of a season?
That would be a tough look. And again, that is fully recognizing and appreciating Oilers fans invest their hard-earned dollars into this team.
Destro, what if I sell to another Oiler fan? If you know it's another Oiler fan, that's fine.
That's
Perfect.
That's
I'm
cool.
saying you're knowing another Oiler fan is taking your ticket.
All good.
There's like the Voyagers of soccer now. Their tickets are a lot cheaper. They won't sell to like other fan bases. If you were, and when they came to Mexico, I had a ticket I needed to get rid of. One person was trying to get it. I felt she was like going to cheer for the Mexicans. I kept asking like, who are you cheering for? And in the end, I didn't sell that ticket. And now it's not the same height. I took a hit on that one because the Voyagers had a very specific thing of it's got to be just fans there of Canada.
Right.
You can't just sell tickets to anyone. Supporter sections across the world, it's like that. That to me, if you know an Oiler fan's going to take that, yeah, and you want to sell it for 3 times, they'll pay that, go for it, sure.
That's ideal situation.
You're allowing an Oiler fan to take over in the Stanley Cup final your seat. But you throw it on a secondary market, that's 75% chance that's going to be a Leafs fan.
Yeah.
And
that.
the Leafs score a goal, it's going to sound like the Leafs have taken over the barn.
Like it does when they come here in the regular season. Okay, another text says, those millionaire players can buy some tickets and give them away to true Oiler fans if they're upset by that. That would not happen. They wouldn't buy them and give them to fans.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they'd actually be upset by it. I think they're more dialed into what's going on, like winning a Stanley Cup in that situation.
It is, but like had Belzy talked about it and others, the crowd helps the players. The crowd atmosphere helps the players. You get that extra jump if the crowd's giving it, like as they're coming out, when the Oilers come out for game 3 on Saturday, the crowd's giving them a boost as they're taking to the ice. When they score a goal, the crowd's giving them that boost. Well, that's gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can imagine like the emotion of being out on the ice and hearing 18,000 plus people chant for you and your team, or the nervous energy on the other side of that. So if this hypothetical, I love how we always got to say that. It's very
We're reiterating,
hypothetical.
it is a what if hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, between said Leafs and Oilers final, if that were to happen, it would be so disheartening. It would be so disheartening as a player to hear, like the Leafs chants and whatever like that. But I know they are
but
pros,
I don't think they would get that rattled.
Right.
Jeffy says some places like Arizona or Anaheim, etc., had unsold tickets for regular season, so it's a bit different, that secondary market. But yeah, talking out both sides of your mouths, nothing wrong with recouping some money.
But those that buy secondary market and those, it's season ticket holders. If you buy from the team, those are the unsold tickets. The secondary market is where a lot of people bought, which is the season ticket holders.
Yes.
The team's not putting their tickets on the secondary market.
No. Okay, Mitch in the park. You know why? This brings out a lot of opinions, so that's why I think I like this topic, even though it's frustrating for some. Again, hypothetical. Mitch from the park says there's a lot of people in this town that are really struggling and bought the tickets as a revenue opportunity. Y'all sound like guys that have never been in a financially tough time. Well, that would be incorrect, Mitch in the park. It's a game at the end of the day, and if I had the opportunity to send my kid to a summer camp over a playoff game, it's easy. If a guy could pay their mortgage for 5 months with profit, to suggest that they are less of a fan is wild, man. This is pissing me off. Mitch, you got to listen to the premise. Like,
But
Oiler,
which number? Can you show me which number?
it is here.
Oh, so it actually does show up.
Oh, I just put it in there because it wasn't before.
Okay, well, but here's the thing. Okay, so if you're at such a tough financial spot, why are you buying season Stanley Cup prices then at that
Yeah,
point?
that's true too.
That's like you already paid for the ticket. Now you're saying, well, I can't put my kid in summer camp unless I sell these tickets. Well, why'd you buy the tickets? That's like, I'm not saying, again, the Oiler fans should need to go buy these on the secondary market and spend $5, $10K for these. But the tickets are so ridiculously expensive. You've already spent that money. But now you're saying, well, I'm such a financial hardship. I got to go sell these tickets. Otherwise, how am I going to make, like, I'm in a tough spot. Well, why'd you buy the tickets in the first place then?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you magically got a hold of these tickets, it'd be, a little bit different. Like you already have them if you get them for free, which would be wild. But yeah, no, you can't. You can't do that.
I have a question for Mitch from the park. It's kind of a joke, but are you mad or hypothetically mad?
Well,
or just angry.
yeah, you're making this a revenue opportunity. That's what he says. Okay, so
Right.
Okay, fine. But then now your fandom's taking a hit. That's all I'm saying.
That's
Like,
what
I'm
Matt-
not
that's the
saying that
point,
you're a
yeah.
bad person at that point, but you've now looked at this as a business thing as opposed to, where fans are here. I'm buying tickets to support my team. I'm buying tickets to go elevate my team and help them through things. I am impacting the game. You are looking at this instead as ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. I'm a business opportunity.
Yes, you talk about the
There's a
principle of this.
of why you're buying tickets.
Yes.
And I'll go back to why was home ice advantage for Oilers fans for a large part of this season? And why did we say home ice was such a big deal for the Oilers last year in the Stanley Cup final? Because of the fan part of that. But so now your mentality is a little different on that. But then that's where it's then, okay, the fan part of this needs to take a hit for the people that have season tickets.
If that were to happen.
And now I go back to this. This all starts with the Edmonton Oilers. That's the biggest part of this. They've priced things like ridiculously high, but people are willing to spend that, so they're going to keep going that way. Now they've never given back to their fans. I remember the first playoff appearance, 16-17, I went off on 1260 because they had an immediate massive pay raise for the first round. And I was like, after 10 years of missed playoffs, you couldn't give like a 2% bump or something for the playoffs as a thank you for all your support. Like this does start with the Edmonton Oilers.
So they did that right away. It's always been like that.
Oh, they always playoffs always go up, and that I think that year was like 12% for round one or something.
But it's more
keeps
than that
going.
now. It's like what is it? They get up to like 50% by the final if they get there. Are you telling me, Matthew, that 50 donairs being launched via air cannon in the second TV timeout of the second period is not giving back to the fans? How dare you?
Pizza from the sky.
Pizza
from the
floating
sky.
from the heavens from Pizza 74 is not giving back to the fans?
Or a T-shirt to like 4 fans in the one section of the
facetious, obviously. Lots of text coming in. Hollywood Hard Ticket says, I agree with Maddie 100%, but this hypothetical is upsetting me. I won't fault a fan thinking with their wallets on these absurd prices. However, it does hurt the fandom. Florida in 6 anyway. Suck it, Leaves. Hollywood Hard Ticket with that one. We're getting a lot of text. And again, emphasizing what if scenario, strictly hypothetical, if Edmonton met Toronto in the final.
Dusty, but you can pay for half of your regular season tickets next year by selling one game. Do it.
True.
Okay, but the thing with that is, what's the point of a season? It's go win the Stanley Cup. And if the Oilers go lose the Cup, what we're going to say, oh, it's too bad they didn't have home ice advantage again. But home ice advantage then doesn't matter at that point.
You mean the 82 game
people don't care.
Pre-season?
Well, it's and again, you go do that if that's how you want to pay for your regular season tickets. Go for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't go do that, but the fandom of this market would take a hit. Like, I'll tell you right now, the rest of the hockey world is going to watch an Oiler game of a Game 3, a hypothetical situation again, and the Leafs score a goal, and the whole place erupts in a Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
And you say it's a premium product, and I think the most upsetting thing about this hypothetical, I mean, you could say it's because we're mentioning the Leafs and all this talk, but it's that it is just so expensive to try and enjoy an Oilers hockey game.
Yes.
It really is. And that's the beauty of all the other sports, and sports teams here in Edmonton. You got the Riverhawks, the Elks are about to come up, the Oil Kings
Stingers
just wrapped up their season, Stingers, like... It's all about a start. Some of those sports, of course, the Oil Kings are, during the hockey season and stuff like that. But there's a lot other areas that you could go to enjoy cheaper sports.
Entertainment.
Yeah, and entertainment in whole. Like, it's more than just sports, especially Riverhawks. Like, I got to say, I've been to Oilers games, been to Elks games and stuff like that. I got to go to one Stingers game, multiple Oil Kings games in the past. But like that Riverhawks vibe when you're at Remax Field is like completely different from any other sporting event here in the city.
Dave in Section T, doesn't OEG fans or force fans to buy 2025-2026 season tickets before they can buy 2025 playoff tickets? A friend dropped his season seats for this reason after the 24-25 season. Fans who bought season seats should have access to playoffs without committing to the next season. That I don't know for sure, because I know Larry Ring, our good friend, he's a season seat holder. He has really nice club seats for the regular season, usually buys playoff seats. He opted out of playoff seats, but I think he's still good to go for his seats next year in the regular season. And he showed me the invoice for his full season club seats, and then he showed me the invoice for playoffs in those same seats, and it was more expensive for these playoffs. So he's like, I'm not doing it. Like, I can't just. And Larry is a businessman. He's successful. He's got the means to have nice things like that. And he's going, I can't justify it. He's like, I can't do it. But he did buy on the secondary market in round 1 and went to a game.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Getting to the one of them. Jason LeDuc, this
right.
has to be one of the takes in the 10 percentile that Matt doesn't actually believe in. This can't be a true belief. No, it is a true belief. I'm sorry. I don't care. Big Uke, all of you. I don't care that you think in media I don't get a chance to judge others on this. I do get it. I get my right to an opinion. Just like you have your right opinion that you don't think my opinion's good. I get my opinion, and Oilers fans would look poor in that situation.
Well, that's just
you
an
absolutely would. And quite frankly, yes, your fandom takes a hit in my eyes.
Okay. Say this scenario, which is hypothetical, did actually
Which
play
actually
out.
still, based on the early part of the second round, not as hypothetical as we think.
Right. Whatever the probability charts and when they're updated daily by outlets that do that are indicating it could happen or whatever. Anyway, I'm saying it's the TNT broadcast. You got Paul Bissonnette, and then you got Ryan Whitney there with Spittin' Chicklets, Keith Yandel, whatever. Everybody comes to town for the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah,
They
gotta see
travel
who's got the
back and
Stanley
forth.
Cup this year.
Yeah, and maybe it is ESPN this year because
They had it last year, didn't
Well,
they?
then it's TNT
Yeah.
this year.
That's
Anyway,
what I was thinking.
Okay, so everybody's here. They're in the building, and then say it was Oilers Leafs, and then this scenario does play out where a lot of Oilers season seat holders sell their playoff tickets to Leafs fans, and there's a lot of Leafs fans in the building for an Oilers home playoff game in the Cup final. You don't think those guys are going to be pointing it out and mocking it?
They will.
Exactly.
They will.
Yes.
People will go, oh my God. It won't be mocking as much Oilers. It'll be, oh my God, look at how great these Leafs fans are. The Leafs have gone into Rogers Place in Edmonton and have taken over the barn.
Oh, and then it'll be a story for decades or something like that. Even whatever would happen.
Well,
in
if
the
it's Toronto
hypothetical
winning, then yes,
situation.
because I mean, we still talk about 1967 like it was a
Yesterday.
glorious thing.
Who was on
almost
that
60
team?
years
Eddie Shack? No.
TNT does have the broadcast this year for the Stanley Cup final.
Ah, okay.
Because of the rotating
Johnny Bauer. Yes.
rotation. So the ESPN will have first choice of which conference final to air. TNT gets the others, and they get the Stanley Cup final.
That's dynamite. TNT?
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that's a good broadcast. Jeffy he says, I can't remember if there were many Canucks fans in the building last year in round 2. It doesn't stick out as being a big deal, but Leafs fans are much more of a disease and pop up everywhere. Yeah, and that's a good point. Like the Leafs fans they walk among you.
They do show up. Like everywhere.
Damn
I
the
mean, they
Habs.
are just everywhere. Yeah.
To a degree, the Bruins.
Joel from Bonnie says, I will sell it in 2 seconds and gladly watch it home. Screw you guys. I'll keep my fandom. Thank you very
Imagine
much.
all the 6 o'clock lagers you could get for $12.99 at Sobeys and Safeway liquor stores.
This one I don't agree with. Says us quote unquote not real fans, don't expect local media members who get passes to games to everything to understand anything about the financial investment involved with being a fan. Well, I am a season seat holder of a local franchise and have been for 20 years. Not to the extent of being an Oilers season seat holder. And nobody said they're not real fans. It just says the fandom
You take a hit.
take a hit. Nobody's
Not
taking
saying
away
handing
fan-
your fan card, not
Yeah.
saying that you're done with it, but in the biggest series, potentially, you're going to allow another market to potentially take over. And that's a good thing for the Oilers.
It is
Jake
not.
from Ontario says, being as I live an hour from Toronto and constantly annoyed by Leafs fans, it would suck seeing the seats filled with Leaf fans on TV if that were to happen. Again, it's a what if.
And with this hypothetical, are people in the East, like staying out in the East, are people sleeping on Carolina? The Hurricanes are a
What about
fantastic
the
hockey club.
Capitals?
Yeah, well, he's jumping ahead and he's putting he's got the Hurricanes past the Capitals into the third round, the conference finals.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think they're just, I don't know, a great team. Like they're responsible everywhere. Defense wins championships as a cliche is, which isn't always true. But I
It's
look at that
very
team.
true, though.
It is true in most scenarios. You can get there without the great defense, but they have a fantastic decor. Anyone that is rolled out on that back end is just fantastic. And Frederick Anderson being re-upped as well. Like his numbers are just fantastic in the
He was
postseason.
fourth in the list of Conn Smythe and Play Alberta.
Ferdier, former Duck and Leaf.
Yes. Al says, hey, boys, Mitch's logic makes 0 sense. Mitch is increasing ticket prices for everyone. He's also taking tickets from other Oilers fans without any intention of going. He is also selling tickets above face value, which is illegal, in parentheses, though it happens. So Mitch bought tickets he can't afford, took tickets away from other fans, and breaking the law to make a profit. And he's pissed off? LOL. That one via Al. Al, thanks for the text. Good to hear from you. Collingwood Rob says, TG, you want to pop?
Well, I was just going to say that's part of it. One of the reasons ticket prices are so high for the Oilers, which is the root cause of all this, is because people can pay it. Well, if people weren't paying that, it would have to be lowered. And then the more real, like, or not the other fans that couldn't afford it on a regular day basis, regular season games, playoff games, all of them would have better access to them too. So there is that point of that just if you're looking at being a season ticket holder only as a business and not being as a fan, you are hurting other Oilers fans.
Yeah. No,
That's a good point.
That out. TG says, Collingwood Rob, I'm a huge fan who would always go to the games. I stopped years ago when the Oilers started pricing out the basic fan. Look at the lower bowl in Toronto. Yes, all corporate. Good point, Collingwood Rob. Edmonton is heading in that direction. I only go if I get free tickets now. I travel a lot annually, leaving on an Alaskan cruise Sunday. Nice. The cost of Oiler tickets, I can travel 2 to 4 times a year to lovely places and watch the games in a bar on a vacation destination wearing my Oiler gear. And yeah, you know what? Collingwood Rob, some people, that's how they go about it, and that's how they cheer. I saw a bar in Calgary that was all Oilers fans, and it had an Oilers Stanley Cup banner in it too. I was like,
There's a lot of Calgary people or Edmonton people in Calgary.
Well, I went on with Pat Steinberg, and it was on Flames Talk. And one time I was on there, I think it was earlier in the season, he's like, I know this is Flames Talk, but like a lot of our conversation does end up being about the Oilers anyway. It's how it is. Joel from Bonnie also adds, I will sell it in 2 seconds, gladly watch at home. P.S. That was all hypothetical. You guys are awesome. Yes.
We gotta make sure it's hypothetical.
This is all hypothetical. And then one is from Taco says, at some point, the McDavid and Draisaitl era will be over. Will the Oilers' ticket prices dip? Will they still be premium product? I love when Matty brings the fire out of the fans. LOL. That's from Taco.
You do that well, Maddie.
Well, it's an interesting conversation. Like,
Yeah.
and it all just stemmed from what if we see Edmonton and Toronto in the final? What would happen? What would that arena be like here in Edmonton?
It would break Canada.
Yeah, it would be outstanding. That would be what a 2 weeks that would.
Well, imagine the Oilers fans in the Moss Pit when there's Leafs fans there.
I would think that the Oilers would do a good job of not allowing the Leafs fan in there.
Beef up security, I think.
Yeah.
Like that's one that if they see a Leaf fan, they might. They could also just wouldn't be security reasons. We can't allow you in because there's going to be a fight. There's going to be a fight with Oiler on Oiler fans, let alone Oiler versus another fan. So like I think they would beef that up and not allow it as much. Yeah, because you don't generally see other people. Like a couple might sneak their way in, but for the most part, it's not a lot. So I don't. Also, why would you want to join like a bunch of Oilers in the Moss Pit if you're the other team?
You could beak at them.
That's just asking for trouble. Mitch in the park.
That's what Jesse Pollock did.
Jesse Pollock. Oh, did
he? He's most known for initially he wore Jets jersey in the Leafs thing. Guys just troll completely.
I don't pay attention to that stuff for reasons like that. Mitch from the park with the rebuttal says, you want true home ice advantage, let in the real fans that will never make it a playoff game because it's too expensive.
Well, but to that, what that other texter said, it's because you're buying those tickets and to sell them.
Al said that.
Yeah, so that you're hurting letting fans in because you're paying the prices. So the Oilers are like, hey, we can make money. So we're going to raise these prices and you keep buying them and you're buying them not for I'm going to use these as you're going, well, I'm going to sell these for more money so I can make profit. It's a business for me, not about that. So that's where like you're actually what was Rob? Was it?
Right. This is
no.
Mitch.
The other one was Rob. That's like to Rob's point. Mitch is hurting. Al, sorry, yeah. Al. You're hurting the cause there.
Mitch also adds, let them in for free. Don't allow all these rich business people that live in Ice District that go because their companies have tickets. Let the true blue Oiler fans in for free. I bet it's the loudest you ever been. There's a hypothetical for you. Yeah, that's a pie in the sky hypothetical. They would never do that, but it would be wild. It would create a good atmosphere hypothetically.
The official drink of the EST Hangout is the Finnish long drink legend in 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment. Real liquor. Longdrink.com/Canada, where you can enter post code to find a liquor store and establishment nearest you with the long drink in stock. He's Zachticum. He's Tommy. I am Matt. People hate me right now. Just
One,
I'd say
don't
about,
they?
I'd be about 70% hate me right
don't
now.
hate you.
No.
I don't. If that means anything.
Zach, that means a lot to me.
Awesome.
Means the
I'm
world to
curious though with those cards. I know completely off topic now. They're starting to get bent up a little bit. Each time
Yeah.
you throw them, they kind of get bent up like that Theo Fleury card I have here. Are you gonna recoup those anytime soon? Like,
I think
do they
at the very
still get the
least they
same?
need to get glued on a little bit better,
Okay.
and then they'll fly a little
Okay.
better. The other thing is I might just redo them, but I need to laminate it. I feel like
Yes.
and
Get
then,
Yes.
the laminator out.
and then I could just write on it and keep it, and then wipe it off when I'm done with it and put a new one on. But it might wipe off a little too quickly.
Yeah.
People don't laminate enough anymore, or I don't see it around enough.
Well,
Bought a laminator.
if you ever need to
Very good
laminate
with it,
something.
yeah.
Good to know. Can you do it in multiple colors? Like, could you do like an orange?
well, it's whatever
Is that
whatever you have as the over, like the
fill-
cover
yeah,
part to
yeah.
it. Whatever you like, you put your thing in as an insert, and then it goes through, and that's
Nice.
the color.
Edmonton
I don't know if
laminating
there's
talk,
colored
nice.
ones or not.
Okay, good to know. I'll chat about this off.
You're a
more.
curious guy.
No, I like the lamination. What can I say?
Can I rattle off a
protects.
couple more texts? Can we move on to another topic? Because
Yeah.
we're already an hour in.
I'll
But
just say, like, you could pay me $100. You could use it.
100, he'll give you 400. The B is for bargain. Stanzi says, I completely agree with you guys. I'll be choked if it's packed with Leafs fans, and I'm sure the players will as well. Yeah, making that money is nice, but the Leafs fans can't stand those idiots. But just praying Leafs fans choke here. Panthers are coming back. I want a rematch with Florida or the Canes. That's from Stanzi. And then Barry says, go capitalism. That's what it is. Big Dave says he's fired up for the CFL season. He threw that in earlier. And he says, if we're going to discuss hypotheticals, could we talk about how crazy it would be to have a Western final that's Jets Oilers and a Cup final that's Oilers or Jets versus the Leafs? How wild would that be? It'd be awesome.
So this is the
3,
first
4
time.
Canadian teams, possibly.
That'd be so good.
Yeah, this
in
is the
the conference
first time since 2004 it was, right? In 21 years or 20 years or something like that,
Yeah.
that there were 3 teams to make it into the second round. 3 Canadian teams
Yes.
to make it to the second round. So if all the Canadian teams in right now, Oilers, Jets, Leafs, they were to move on. I didn't check this, but when would the last time that have been? For 3 teams to make it to
The conference,
finals. It would have been a long time then.
Was there ever the
It's got to
Leafs?
be when there's less teams.
What was 93? It was Toronto, LA, and Montreal versus who did the Habs beat in the third round
Ooh,
to
a
go
great
to the
question.
final? Did they beat the Rangers?
let me check that here.
Who? What year?
93?
Kings beat the Leafs.
Yes.
In the Western Conference.
but then who
The year
was-
prior was Canucks, or the year after was Canucks Leafs. So now I got to go 93, 94 on the other side. 93 was Canadians over the Islanders.
Oh, Islanders.
So there's only one that year. It's weird that the Leafs were in the West.
No, but the Leafs played the Kings in the 93 conference final, was it not?
Yeah, I know. It's weird that they're in the West.
Yeah, they were in the West.
Yeah,
till
so it was
like
just Leafs and it
2000.
was just the Canadians.
Yeah, so,
there's
there's
just
two out
two.
of 4, yeah.
The next year was Canadians Leafs in 94, but it was Rangers Devils out
right.
east.
And then the Rangers beat the Canucks.
So I'm just trying, like, you have to try to find a time when there was 2 Canadian teams in one, and then
Maybe in the 80s?
89, there was 2 Canadian teams in the Stanley Cup final. Canadians and
And
Flames.
Habs. What about 86?
that was Canadians Flyers in the West,
Yeah.
Because
or in the East, and it was Flames Blackhawks in the West. So it was only 2 still.
Okay.
Because Canadian teams have to defeat Canadian teams to move on, too. So
So it's
little harder,
so
right?
it's since 1982 of what I can see here. I don't know if it's ever actually happened.
That might have never happened.
Yeah, with the most, I think it's just 2 of them. Because out west, the only time there's been an all-Canadian West.
And it hasn't happened in the conference final because the Jets never made it to the conference final. And in the Smythe division, you had the Oilers, Canucks, and... Oh, no.
94 was the only time it was all West, Canada in the West. It was Vancouver, Toronto.
Right.
It hasn't happened since, obviously. If you go out east, the only times it would have ever happened, if it's ever happened,
I don't
I'm
think
not
it
seeing
has.
one.
I don't think it has.
shoot.
So you had 1 year where it was possible, and it didn't happen that
It's
year.
on the table now.
But it is on the table right now, although
Make history.
2 teams are in a good spot to a degree. 1 team is in the bad spot. 2 are in the driver's seat and the others.
Yeah, it's
1 game.
anyway.
Only one game, man.
Brett is saying 89 Oilers, Flames, Habs. 89, the Oilers weren't in it from what I saw.
Didn't they lose in the first round?
They
89
lost to
was
the
Flames, Blackhawks.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
lost to the Flames. Yeah. It was odd looking back
No, they
at.
lost to the Kings in the first round.
Did they?
Yeah.
Shoot. Yeah, it's odd the way the playoffs worked before, like best of 5 in the first round, and then it
they
was
lost
1
to the
versus
Kings.
16. Like I was looking at it, the first time the Oilers made it to the second round in their NHL life, they were against the Islanders.
That's right. Well, that was the seeding was different. They still had 5 best of 5s back then. I think it was like 85 or 86. They went all best in 7.
You wanted to a point that we had yesterday, another hypothetical.
Yeah.
But
it
from
on me, brother.
this is our conversation we had with Belzy yesterday, though. But this is a good point by Rip City Step. I think it would be easier to market a Matthews versus McDavid final than a Canes versus Stars final, even in America. But that would require the NHL and their broadcast partners put in an effort. And I would agree with that.
Yep.
The effort, I think the NHL would hate Leafs Oilers over American teams. But Rip City makes a good point there to me that if they actually chose to properly market it, though, we've got Matthews, this great American player, McDavid. They could have to a degree done that last year with Kachuk. Iconic franchise, Toronto Maple Leafs. Do you remember where Wayne played? It was in Edmonton. There's a lot you could do to actually make that a sexy sell.
Yep.
In the States, but it would require a full-on like media assault of like, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. And do they have that?
Childhood Leafs fan against his former team or former team that he cheered for, right? I don't know if they took that spin.
that route, but they might. Yeah, that's not good.
Well, because the emotions there, right? Like all the Ontario has the best hockey,
you make
right?
a good point.
David comes from there. It was like the Tavares thing when he went to Toronto, right? Or I mean, like it was like, oh, in the pajamas. They could take that spin on it too.
Yeah, that is true.
There's a
They
couple
probably
marketing
would,
things.
Zach.
They probably would because it's Toronto, right? And
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, oh, Connor McDavid wants to win the cup against his childhood,
His hometown team.
his hometown team.
Yeah. No, you're right. As much as I
Because in
cringed off
Canada
the
they
hop.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No,
if that
don't be. That's a completely valid
turn the gears
point.
the wrong way.
No, you're not. You're making it.
Don't be surprised if you ever saw that. Yeah.
I did see some posts of people holding up a McDavid. I think it was after Edmonton lost Game 2 in LA. Posts were going around of McDavid holding up his Leafs jersey that he got at Christmas when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
He's like, just remember. I'm like, oh, here we go. Do it. They're doing it. They're doing it.
GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show tonight, 6 o'clock, Hudson Bourbon Street on West Edmonton Mall. Tommy Hernan and Cass will get you set for that game on the EST today, presented by Play Alberta. We do have Lock Shop coming up. Dusty has posted his play of the day. Draisaitl 1+ or better at plus 140. What does that mean? 1+ or better at plus 140. Is that 1+ goals, 1+ assists? Am I just completely confused with what I'm reading there?
Did he use decimals
Plus
today?
minus? No, I'm betting on plus minus.
I wonder if it's up, because then I'll just look at it that way. Dusty's play of the day. Is there? Oh, plus minus.
Oh, it is plus.
It is plus
It is
minus.
plus minus. Well, better
Oh,
than
I
Jack
get
Eichel's
it.
minus
Plus
5.
1 or better at. I was thinking, okay, so it's it's a plus minus bet. Thank you, Dusty.
A plus minus
1+
bet.
or better at plus 140.
What are the
So
odds on
if
that?
He's a plus 140.
I
Yeah,
put money on that. I put money on that.
could have just went +1 plus minus.
Get some
Or
doubloons
1+
out.
plus minus. The early bird bet was Connor McDavid, Evan Bouchard, 1+ assist each. Vander Kane, 1+ points. That is plus 215. Play Alberta, head there, playalberta.com, click on EST specials. But we got Lock Shop coming at 11. We've got 2 guys and a goalie at noon. We've got EST afternoons. We've got the Reed Wilkins show. That's still to come here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transitions. Canadian storage provider, Sentinel.ca. That was the saddest toss ever.
That's really bad.
That's why, because they're misshaped.
Yeah, that
all
one,
bent
just
up.
the air got under it. That was the saddest toss I think I've ever seen in my life.
The effort was there.
I have another topic unless you wanted to hit on something.
I just wanted to hit on the fact that I got to open up my WhatsApp for this.
WhatsApp.
Is it Reed writing songs about us?
No, Oilers take to the ice at 11:30 at T-Mobile. So when we get to two guys, we'll have a lot more info of what's happened on the ice. And as we get into ES afternoons, there'll be more audio and sound from the locker room of Chris Knob. Well, not the locker. Did they go in the locker room?
Yep.
Yeah, they still do. Knobloch's at the podiums.
They do the podium for coaches. Rounds 3 and 4 is where it ends up.
It's where it is.
Being podium.
Okay.
And that's where the league comes in and takes over.
So just stay tuned for that. So that's all I was trying to get to there. Tommy, Zach, Matt with you here.
All right. This text comes in and says, thoughts on Joel Quenneville returning to coach Anaheim, or is that taboo? No, it's not taboo. Let's talk about it.
Well, he hasn't coached since 2021 when he was with the Florida Panthers when all fiasco happened.
But he had to step away. I think to me, it's similar to Stan Bowman coming back.
Yeah.
Once Stan Bowman was allowed back, it allowed Joel Quenneville to come back. Do I agree with this? Absolutely not. I don't think either guy should be back. I don't think either guy should be around hockey. I believe in second chances, but second chances don't mean you get the same type of job as you had before, especially when we're talking about such big businesses like being a general manager, head coach in the National Hockey League.
It's a privilege.
Go get another job somewhere else. Go do something else that's not as wanted. Like it's a dream job for how many people in the world to do what those guys are doing. Go do something else. Go work a different line of business.
I mean, guys like that don't really need to work anymore.
There's that too.
That's true. Unfortunately, I thought it was an inevitability though.
It was.
No, you're
Both
right.
would step back in. Yeah. Like it was just they wait a couple years. People are like, okay, whatever, and then now they bring them back in. It sucks to see. I completely agree that I don't think either of them should really be a part of an NHL operation. Like second chances, as you're saying, are good for people to get second chances. Everybody deserves a second chance.
Yes.
Especially, you grow as a person, you adjust, but to be right back in the NHL, you just, I don't know, it fell into his lap almost.
Well, I mean, he's one of the best coaches in NHL history. Yeah, it did. He was going to get opportunities fall into his lap when he was reinstated because he had to be reinstated as well, correct?
Yes.
Just like Stan Bowman. Him going to Anaheim, and I was thinking about this when all the vacancies opened up. I think it's good for the Ducks because they're going to get a good coach. It's also smart on Quenneville's part because less pressure, less spotlight, rather than going to somewhere like Vancouver or Philadelphia or another big hockey market where you're going to be scrutinized and you'll be reminded of everything that happened in Chicago very, like right away, obviously. I don't know how consistently that would be. But it would be more in your face in bigger hockey markets. Anaheim is and has kind of become not as bad as Arizona was, the hockey desert wasteland. But you can fly under the radar in Anaheim, and you're not going to be scrutinized as much. Now, my opinion on it is like what I said about Stan Bowman being hired by the Oilers back in, July? Unnecessary. Like if you really wanted to move on as a league, why are you bringing this? Why are you bringing Joel Quenneville back? And I understand he's probably going to make Anaheim a better team. He's a good coach, but like when Stan Bowman was hired by the Oilers, it was riding high, coming off almost winning the Stanley Cup, and then they bring him in, and it just like felt like there was a bit of a deflating type of feel around the team, and you're like, why did you need to bring that guy back? So unnecessary was the term I used. I'll use it again here because that's the guy coming from that same scenario. But having said that, the Ducks got a good coach.
I'm curious if other teams tried to pursue him as well.
Of course they did.
Well, like Vancouver and Philly and stuff like that, because it is more in the spotlight in those markets where they kind of like, well, we don't want that same feeling sort of with Stan Bowman and the Oilers where there was a bit of, deflation. And it was kind of like, why are you guys doing this? But in Anaheim, nobody's going to really bat an eye in those markets. I mean, around the league, like even here, we're talking about it because we see a I guess, big it is. But in Anaheim, I don't think they're constantly talking about that. Right?
No, but the one interesting thing that will happen here is when Stan Bowman gets hired as a GM, he's not seen as much.
Exactly. That's
The
a
head
great point.
coach just talks 82 games a year,
Yes.
before and after every game minimum. And then there's
Yeah.
the practice days and stuff. But
Yeah.
you travel 41 games of the year. You've got to go to Toronto. You've got to go to Edmonton. You've got to come to
You have
Calgary,
to answer those
Vancouver.
questions.
You've got to go back to Chicago. How are the Anaheim Ducks going to handle those questions? Because I tell you right now, they won't allow it, is my prediction.
Probably.
They'll probably be told, you can't ask this, but that's not going to fly in certain markets like Toronto or Katie Strange. I think she's based in New York.
Yeah. Yeah,
She's going to take the opportunity to ask those questions if she's not in Anaheim
Yeah.
for that type thing. How is that going to, you have to answer more to that. And you can't, like Edmonton, Sam Bowman had to do the one press conference, and you could to a degree hide.
Do you think
You
Sheldon,
can't if you're Joel Quenneville.
Do you think Sheldon Kennedy's going to the Joel Quenneville press conference?
It'll be interesting.
Remember that?
Yeah, I forgot about that. But
Yeah.
when you say that, I remember that he was there. With Joel Quenneville, it was in the report. There was, and I got this when Stan Bowman, it wasn't true. But with Joel Quenneville, he did write the letter of recommendation for the one coach to go work with high school kids after this all happened. Joel Quenneville doesn't need to be back in the National Hockey League. But hockey does like to retread coaches.
Yeah. And he's one of the best all time.
Well, and that's a sports thing. Is if you're good at what you do, teams will overlook it.
Correct.
Greg Hardy was convicted by a jury of beating his then girlfriend, and he was playing football. Until people were like, hold on a second, Ray Rice.
Yeah.
So why is Greg Hardy playing? And then Greg Hardy got on the commissioner's exempt list. Also, I will just throw this out there because it's just news. White smoke from the Vatican. So there is a pope. Happened within the last 10 minutes. So a new Vatican has been, or a new pope has been selected in the Sistine Chapel. So for the Catholics out there, for anyone that likes to watch world history and things like this happening, it is a fascinating process. That has just happened. The last time a pope was selected, I was doing the show with Mark Spector. It happened during our show.
Yeah.
Our next guest was Eric Francis.
Oh,
And the Pope was named. It came out. He's
Pope
Pope Francis.
yeah.
So I remember Spack went to like, when we come back, we've got the Pope on the line. And then we came back, and Pope Francis went was like, "You're
Eric
my
Francis.
children." Eric Francis, yeah, he's like my children. And stuff.
Yeah.
It was really funny because it worked out just so perfectly for that.
what if we get Ben Pope on? I'm just kidding. Out of Chicago, he covers
So
the
that's
Blackhawks,
happened.
by the way. And maybe they're gonna celebrate with a delicious pasta feast tonight
Ooh.
at the Vatican.
Not
Of course they will.
Pasta.
Reed Wilkins, get the new Pope on the Hangouts. Request is in.
Fly him in.
We're gonna have the Cardinals that voted two of them or something. We're gonna have a full discussion on that here, Reed.
Great.
Yeah, Mr. Gerbic, Mr. Rick Westhead needs to be at the Toronto presser. But when he's free from the London trials.
Yeah. I read up on that this morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
No bueno.
We could get. We'll talk some Oilers, Golden Knights. Get to that. Do want to say this? Tomorrow I have a giveaway to do on the show.
Nice.
Whale and the Wolf has a show May 31st.
Ooh.
The house band of EST. May 31st, Rocky Mountain Ice House, whaleandwolf.com. Over 90% sold, actually.
Excellent.
So if you want to go see the house band Whale and the Wolf, I think they're playing some new music as well. Go get your tickets right now. whaleandthewolf.com will get you to their socials and stuff. You can follow them like on Insta. They are Whale and the Wolf. And it's pinned and stuff for the show to go get your tickets. It's in their bio right on Instagram and stuff. But we'll have a pair of tickets to give away tomorrow as well. But the Whale and the Wolf, they've got a show coming up May 31st. Get your tickets now. It's a home show, doing some new things, but tickets are almost sold out. So if you want to go see our house band in person,
They
get
had
your tickets
new
now.
music that they were working on, right? We'll add it to the rotation.
I was gonna ask.
yeah, their post was, we're writing and recording like crazy over the last little while, so let's pile into a club and take these new songs for a spin.
Yes.
We'll play a bunch of new songs, a bunch of old songs, just you and us. whaleandthewolf.com, Whale and Wolf on Insta has an Eventbrite link right there, but we'll have a pair of tickets to give away on the Hangout
Do you got
tomorrow.
an extra pair or?
No.
Oh, okay. Guess I'll have to buy them on Eventbrite.
There you go. Bones says the over-under of the new Pope's age is 77 and a half.
Over.
Ooh, yeah. You taking
Didn't-
the over?
I'm taking the
Those
over.
guys are pretty old. Yeah.
I saw online that they're kind of doing it like it was a bit of a joke where they had their, I guess, a cue card put up on whatever the screen, and it was like their age, their name, like what they did, and it was like a football card or something like that. Like
like
it was
a
like the
player card?
NFL draft.
Yeah.
And it was like 76 years old. He worked with children over here in this ministry and yada yada, and it was interesting to see because it is a fun process, interesting process to go about for sure.
The Pope election.
Yeah,
It is a very wild thing that it's still that way. Like there's a vote happening that it's a world leader. Like make of it what you will. They have some sort of significant power. They are,
They have
the
their
leader
own
of
military.
right. They're a leader of 1 billion people. I think Catholics are around the world.
Yeah.
And they do a vote, and it's no one knows what's going on in that room. You're waiting for smoke to come out of a chimney.
They're snacking.
But it's like
What's
it's people
snacks?
outside. Like you don't know when these votes are gonna. You don't know when the smoke's gonna come. You're just standing, staring at a smokestack or a chimney, and going, "I hope that there's white smoke." And if there's black smoke, oh, we got to go do this again. Like it's just it.
Yeah.
But, and it's all, and you don't know what's going on. Like it's
snacking.
that part of it is I find very fascinating. It's, they brought in jammers to jam cell signals.
Did they really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
fully done that. Way.
One text says, "White smoke. Good to see Snoop Dogg made it into the Vatican." Hey-o.
Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout. They are brought to you by the Hive Product Marketing. Official merch partner of EST, promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, the Hive Product Marketing.
Right on the camera.
That was
There
a
we go.
solid one. I've had struggles with the Hive one lately, too,
Round
for the
clicks,
throwing
nice
of it.
toss.
Can Pietrangelo make a difference tonight, do you think? Because some people, I will say, I saw in the nasty chat between yesterday and today, he's looked slow these playoffs. Have him in the lineup. It's not going to change things. I don't know how closely you watch.
He's better than Caden Korzak. Let's just start there. So, yeah, he will help bolster the defense. What effect will it have? Might make it 10% tougher for the Oilers to generate offense. Maybe not. Maybe he's still dealing with lingering effects, but he does make the defense better. There's no way you can deny Alex Pietrangelo doesn't make that defense better over Caden Korzak.
I don't think it'll tip the scales like completely, but yeah, you could play Pietrangelo more minutes in way more situations than Korzak.
Korzak played like 13, but it's not Pietrangelo. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Way more.
and Korzak played solid. I think he looked decent in that game one, but you could tell that the Vegas Golden Knights were missing Pietrangelo.
But was it their defense that let them down in that game? Or, I mean, I described it as they were bending and bending and bending, and then finally in the third period they broke. But was it poor defensive play from the blue liners of the Golden Knights? Or, well, I mean, Shea Theodore got walked by Connor Brown on that fourth goal. But that's Shea Theodore, who's one of their best defensemen.
Well, 4 5v5 shots in the final 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, when you have the puck, you're not doing anything with it. It's side. I'll be intrigued to see what the adjustments are that the Vegas Golden Knights try to do, because I feel like, to a degree, there's a part of me that just goes, the Oilers are also just that good. Yeah, the Vegas has a little bit more, but, in Belzy, we were having a discussion with him yesterday, and, it was the same thing could have been said with Florida and Toronto. Florida didn't look good in game one, and now they had a better game yesterday.
They still lost.
But they still lost. Leafs found a way to get that victory.
Yeah.
And, you could look at Bobrovsky and things like that, but here's the flip side. Even if the Golden Knights do bring a bit more, I'm not worried about the Oilers being able to match it.
Because they've already showed that they can. Like, they set that bar quite high on the Oilers side of things. And if McDavid and Draisaitl have a good night, and the depth even shows up even half as much as they did in game one, they could score 4 or more goals easily. Easily, the Oilers can. And the Golden Knights, they're not a high-scoring team in these playoffs. Like, their leading point scorer has less than 7 points. Like, they've kind of done it by command on each line to try and, get a point here, get a point there as they roll through the lineup. But in that first game, the Golden Knights really looked pedestrian. They really did. They were slow. They did go in on the forecheck, and they just couldn't get anything in that offensive zone. Like, I don't know what's really going to change. Maybe you need to put Raphael Lavoie in the lineup. No, I'm kidding. But Maybe they're missing Matthias
circumstance.
Don't
Janmark.
rip that Band-Aid off too soon.
Maybe they're missing Janmark or something on that lineup. But no, Dorofeyev out as well. Like that is a story there. He isn't sick. He's injured, right? It's Pietrangelo
banged up.
who's okay.
Pietrangelo is illness.
Yeah.
And that's the only one that we know of. for
fear
illness.
from the Oilers.
Maybe he's just worried about the Edmonton Oilers. He didn't want to. He didn't want to be the go up against them. Over under for Play Alberta.
Oh, I got one.
PlayAlberta.com. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I was
Over
gonna
under, how
mention-
many times did we say hypothetical on the show?
Well, you got to do that
Once or
beforehand.
twice earlier.
You can skip the flights to Vegas because jackpots are just a tap away. Experience all the thrills of the casino right from your phone with Play Alberta. Download the app today. Deposit 20 using EST exclusive promo code 100 Casino for a $100 casino bet. So you have to pay 20 more for a $100 casino bet. 100 Casino, or deposit 20 or more for a free $100 sports bet. 100 Sports. 100 Sports. Do that at playalberta.com. I used the My 100 free bet on the Evan Bouchard assist that Dusty had as the play of the day a couple days ago. It cashed. It won. I now have $106 in my account. That is just my money that I didn't have to.
Baby.
Plus my $20 that I threw on actually Jay's play of the day, which was an Elks season-long bet. So we'll see where that goes from. So very simple to do. And as we mentioned, a couple of what Dusty has there. Jay will have a play of the day. The Grand Est EST parlay will be up later on in Play Alberta. Just click on EST specials for that. But the over and under for today's game, it is 6.5, which was the same, I think, game one.
It was, yeah. And end up at 6. I'd still go over tonight.
I would go with the over tonight. Yeah. I think I don't see Vegas being stifled as much offensively. I think the Oilers still are going to find their goals, but I think Vegas is going to get, again, like Toronto and Florida. Actually, no, they scored goals in that first game a bit more. Yeah, I think we're going to see goals tonight.
It took a little while in game 1, but
Yep.
I'll go over again. I thought for sure we'd see like an 8 or 9 goal night between the Oilers and Golden Knights in game 1. We didn't.
I can see a
I was
4-3
surprised.
hockey game
Yeah.
here tonight.
Yeah.
That's kind of the feeling I have for tonight too. And like I think the Golden Knights are going to get more than 20 shots than they did against Cal Pickard in that first game. At the end of the game it was 17 shots or something like that. Not a lot of shots.
Not a lot of shots.
Pickard did what he had to do, made those stops, but if you get more than 30 shots against like Calvin Pickard, you're going to get at least 2 or 3 by him. I'm not worried
You
about
think
the
so?
Oilers
Okay.
scoring.
Okay.
So I think Vegas is going to push that way back. And like I said earlier, it's going to be hard for Edmonton to try and replicate that same game against the Golden Knights. And with Pietrangelo getting in there, he might try and, take a couple whacks at a couple people or whatnot.
Now we're still waiting to get word on the Golden Knights lineup. Nothing yet. I think they're about to hit the ice down in Vegas. I know I should check, actually. The PR team sent some stuff over. Did you get that? Yeah, here we go. Game day media info. They are on the ice at...
Well, you do, the Oilers, last game, 2 goals. In the series against the Kings, only one game where they allowed less than 3 goals, which was 1 goal. So the Oilers, they like to give up 3 or more generally in these playoffs. So if the Golden Knights are getting 3, I think the Oilers can get 4.
Yeah.
That's
Golden
the
Knights.
over right there.
Boom. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. The Oilers aren't on the ice till noon. Or pardon me, Golden Knights aren't on the ice till noon our time.
Golden Knights are on the ice at noon our time. And the Oilers
Yeah.
before?
Well, I think the Oilers are skating at T-Mobile, whereas the Golden Knights are
yeah.
at their morning or their practice rink.
Oh, okay. Because the Oilers are 10:30 Pacific, which would be 11:30 our time at T-Mobile.
And the Golden Knights are 11 Pacific.
How far is their practice facility
Like
from?
half an hour away.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's
So
quite a-
it would be like downtown to St. Albert because their practice facilities in Summerlin, which is like St. Albert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Aren't teams
Depending on
trying to-
traffic, obviously, but
I guess there's not a lot of room in Vegas. Like it's a huge city, but I get like some cities have it like right beside the rink, kind of
well,
thing, right
not-
across the
not
way.
these-
But
not this one. And then Henderson Silver Knights have a facility and their game rink in Henderson. So the way they did it in Vegas is they built a twin rink in Summerlin where a lot of the players live. The arena is obviously just off the strip, T-Mobile, and then Henderson which would be like, I don't know, the Leduc or Sherwood Park of Vegas. It's just opposite sides of the city. Has a 5,000 seat arena plus a practice facility for the Silver Knights. That's just like the practice facility that the Golden Knights have, because they're trying to create more minor hockey and need more sheets of ice. So they kind of did it in a smart way where they built a twin rink in Henderson, twin rink up in Summerlin, and then the main rink for the Golden Knights is just off the strip, and then the main rink for the Silver Knights is in Henderson as well.
Good
There's
work for them.
Cowabunga Bay Water Park in Henderson.
Cowabunga.
I would go to that.
Cowabunga.
That
Is it
sounds
Turtles
awesome.
themed?
Cowabunga.
Henderson's supposed to be pretty nice. I think I've driven through it, but
I don't see turtles in any of the
too bad.
pictures
It's a
right
missed
now.
opportunity.
Yeah,
in
with
my
the name.
opinion.
In my
Exactly.
initial
You'd have to
pictures of that.
probably license those rights at some point. It comes with a cost.
Well, speaking about, well, I guess perhaps missed opportunities with the Mammoths now getting the name in Utah. Everyone wanted it to be Yetis. Of course, that never happened. But with the logo
Not
coming out
everyone
now,
wanted Yetis. Some people
Okay,
wanted
sure.
Utah Hockey Club.
Oh, get out of here.
everybody wanted Yetis.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Zach.
I liked Hockey Club too, but no, Yetis having an actual name to put something to is nice. Whatever. For the last 3 teams that have been brought to the NHL, the Golden Knights, the Kraken, and now the Mammoth being announced, which team has the best logo of all the 3 new teams?
They're all pretty good, actually.
Like the only thing I said, like the Mammoth, it's just 2 EA Sports for me. That part, but they did a good job of adding very subtly
Yeah.
their touches to it.
Yes.
Like you don't always want the like out front one. They did it so subtly. The Kraken's a good one.
That is a really nice one.
I like it on their darker jerseys. Their lighter jerseys, not as much though. I do think it matters the background for it. The Golden Knights is just
The Golden Knights created their own colors, by the way.
they created their own colors. They
The
invented
mustard
colors.
yellow.
Well,
What
they
is it?
used new colors. They introduced new colors, and they gave them stupid names, like the
Mammoth.
The Mammoth did, like mountain blue, salt white, rock black. Those were the colors that they unveiled when they announced their team, and then they reiterated them yesterday. The Mammoth did, but like the Golden Knights, it's like a desert sand gray, and then it's some kind of gold, and as cheesy as that is, like you have like the helmets that they use. The companies that make helmets have to use a new color, basically. The pants, it's a different color. It's not a standard black or whatever. So that part of it's kind of interesting.
Did Seattle do that?
No, they use navy blue, light blue, and another variation of blue. with
Classics.
some red trim.
Yeah, can't get away from those.
I think logo wise, I might go.
These
I was
the
gonna say
logos
maybe.
are pretty good.
I think Kraken, I might go as the better logo.
It's very clever, the Kraken.
I think
It
the
is.
Mammoth look on the jersey and stuff is going to be the one I like better, though, overall on the ice.
True.
Like the Golden Knights colors, like their jerseys, they're nice, but they're not great. That all like the gold jerseys they're wearing, like
If you
they're
see
good.
the gold in person, it does shine. Like they had to go through. Here's another thing about the Golden Knights. They had to go through it took longer than expected to produce that gold jersey because they had to get the manufacturers to come up with the right gold so it didn't come off looking like mustard like the old Nashville Predators their jerseys.
Which
I know
some
way
may
too
say
much
they
about the
kinda
Golden Knights.
Well,
Yeah.
you're a big Jersey fan too, right?
I know.
Which is nice. Like to see the glitter is kind of interesting. The ensemble of putting a logo onto the jersey is a lot different than just seeing the logo as well. Like the way that Utah's doing it is with the away jerseys, it's that same Utah from what is it, the right shoulder down to the left hip.
The word mark.
The word mark. Yes. Yes, the word mark. I don't think the logo would have popped if they had it on that white jersey, which is a kind of reason why I think that they may have just gone about saying, we kind of want to keep that old look as well.
It's a
Because
classic.
we were the
look.
hockey club. What would a third jersey of them look like? Like, because they had that circular logo that said Utah Hockey Club
That's
with
awful.
the
Their
mountain
third jersey,
blue
they have
and
that the
rock
state
black.
on their chest or on their shoulders. They could throw that on there if they wanted to. They could come up with something else with a mammoth, I guess.
Front-facing mammoth. No,
Just a tusk? I don't know.
The tusks up. Because the
Tusks up,
NLL
yeah.
has a
It's tusk up for that.
Tusk
the
up?
Colorado mammoth are tusk up, and the Utah mammoth are tusks up.
I like how in the press release and Wyshynski's article, the Colorado Mammoth were in support and worked hand in hand in helping the Utah Mammoth.
Frank Saravalli also pointed out that in the video of it, there's a couple kids or something. One of them holding a Stanley Cup, like the drink.
Really
Oh, that's hilarious.
clever.
That's
Shot at
hilarious.
Yeti right there.
There you, yeah.
You didn't want to be part of this, so they grabbed the Stanley mug and used that in their promo shot.
I respect that.
Honestly, if I'm Stanley, I'm doing a partnership deal with
Hell,
the Utah Mammoth.
Yep.
Oh, the Yetis could have had this and been part of this, and they didn't want to. We'll jump on board, and how bad that would look for Yeti.
that's a gift. That's a gift from the universe right there. A couple texts here. This one says that gold looks like hangover pee on TV. They look good in person, but most people watch on TV. It looks awful on TV. Yeah, and then you see it in person, you're like, oh, it's got the sparkle to it. Another one says they didn't do a good job on that jersey. It still looks like mustard. Yeah.
The NFL has tweeted at 10:23, the Arizona Cardinals first round pick is in. Cardinals pick is in.
What?
Because the Cardinals selected a pope. The pick
Oh,
is in.
okay.
They're doing it.
That's clever.
What are you-
okay.
what are
I
you
was like,
talking-
Wait a second.
And Adam Schefter tweeted it as if he was breaking NFL news.
Oh, that's good.
Where was the
Classic.
Shefty tweet here?
Well done.
Adam Schefter. I like when Shefty does non-NFL stuff. White smoke, a new pope has been selected. He soon will appear at the center winner of St. Peter's Basilica. Just all this NFL. 2 tweets ago, Dolphins released Blake Ferguson, who's been their long snapper the past 5 seasons, and then we have a new pope.
Well, all right then.
He's just all over it. For those that missed it, yeah, we do have a pope. Yeah, Jasmine, ESPN notification sound. What is it? Oh, yeah, it's something. Well, that's
No.
the
Yeah.
Sports Center, ESPN draft sound. Can I get this up
It's
here
like
quickly?
do.
Oh, this is the NFL one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
We
one.
need to get that for EST drafts.
We had that.
at the old place.
Yeah. I'm sure it's easy
think
to
I could
get
work
that
it.
audio file.
Well, it was this the connecting of things and stuff, and setting up the commish to play it, I guess, if you will.
Oh.
Well, yeah, Dusty would play the songs or the sounds, but then the problem for Dusty was with those two was he had to run them all, but then we'd do it for like 2 rounds, but then he'd start focusing on his draft and he'd forget to click the buttons.
Yeah. That is true.
This is the EST Hangout. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Zachary Kubish with you here. Raider Jesse saying he bought his well on the 12 tickets,
Nice.
so those have been purchased. Oilers and Golden Knights 7:30 tonight. Down in Vegas. You've got notes.
I
and I
do,
don't want to
but-
get away from
Yeah, well,
like
they're very crappy
You also
notes.
got Theo Fleury.
Yeah.
So you got that for moving Trev.
Which one do we want to start with?
Well,
here?
how was the move?
The move was quick. We were done in like 2 hours or something like that. Showed up at 7 after I podcasted all the stuff here after the Reed Wilkins show, 3 to 6 Monday through Friday here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Jay Milne, the co-host with Reed Wilkins, he zoomed right away after the show in
Yeah.
his big moving truck, his old Avon's furniture.
Wait a
Q-van.
sec. What was it? Did you say Avon's?
Avon?
It's not
it-
Avon.
Avon's.
Avon's?
Yeah.
Yvonne's.
Avon, yeah, I looked at. I thought it was Avon's, and then I see it because I was driving right behind it at one point. I was like, YVONNES.
Yeah.
Yvonne's.
Avon's.
Yvonne's.
Yeah.
Yvonne's furniture.
There you go.
And yeah, they were already cooking. They had everything out. Trev packed it very quick. He's been hard at work like this whole week and the week prior to try and get his stuff out of that first place that we're moving from there. But yeah, no, we packed the truck really well. It went good. Everyone was helping. Trev's buddies were also there as his 2 besties to come help as well.
Sweet.
Got to talk with them a little bit, which was cool. But the glue guy doing as he does, I can't believe he showed up with that truck. That's a big move from GG there, glue guy, to come help Trev. And I'm just glad that I was to be able to be a part of it. I got some payment from helping Trev. A nice Theo Fleury hockey card from the 90-91 season. It's a Bowman card here, and it's a hat trick number 249.
Would you like to read the back?
Sure, I guess so. Okay, Theo Fleury, the Flames. Theo was one of 12 players to record more than one hat trick during the 1990-91 season. He recorded hat tricks against the New York Rangers on December 5th, against St. Louis on February 17th and March 9th, and against Quebec February 23rd, and Vancouver March 26th. So this is a prime time card here. It was worth the entire move. 2 hours of that. Worth my time.
And now you could try to sell it at a grad sale.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Try to swindle someone else to get your $40 back.
Hey, I'm not going to swindle
I'm
anybody.
looking at it right now. It's not
It's
in
all
good
bent
shape.
up. Yeah. Well, we had
It
it
didn't
like
matter for him to spend money on the other one.
Well, the
You
best.
again, what do they say? Somebody's trash is somebody else's treasure.
Yeah,
one man's trash is another man's treasure.
gold. Yes.
Yeah,
There
exactly,
you go.
exactly. But we had it right in the way when we were moving stuff in. Like it was on going down the stairs to his new basement suite. It was right on the ledge heading down, and I think we bumped it and creased it a few times. So I never moved it.
As
but,
long as you cherish it
I'll
and it has
cherish it
meaning
forever.
to you, Zach, that's all that matters.
yeah, I must say the bathtub is a downgrade for sure from that first place.
You had a nice
now it is.
bathtub at the original place.
Yeah, it was very deep, very spacious,
Ah.
and this
Very
one's a little.
standard now.
Oh
Jay
no.
had a tweet of it.
Oh
Yeah,
no. I got
it's
standard bath.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, there's a couple updates on Glue Guy's Twitter, at Jason Milne on Twitter. He had 4 updates from the move, but we got it in there. He's a pro. He packed the truck fantastically. I think there's going to be report cards coming out later today on the Reed Wilkins show as well later on, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I've had experience in moving and stuff like that, so I'm glad I was able to use my experience for some good to help out our colleague here at EST. Nowhere else is you'll see coworkers helping other coworkers like we do here. Endlessly supportive team. As I said when
That's beautiful.
yeah.
That is a very standard tub, and poor Trev looks unenthused.
He looks miserable.
Major downgrade on the tub situation. Sad.
He's got a little
Oh, don't put that down.
oh
Yeah, we want your notes.
Okay,
What do you
okay.
got?
I'm always
Well, they're-
fascinated when people bring in notes.
Yeah.
They're
The
crappy,
best
yeah.
person to ever bring in notes was Raimai. Because he has some weird questions that were awesome.
See, I don't come with questions. I just mainly come with ideas, but maybe I'll have to start writing those weird questions like I can't even come up with one on the spot. Well, of course, Oilers Vegas. Yeah, we talked about a lot.
I'm glad you wrote that down as if
I know.
We're
Well, I
not
was
going
like-
to get to it.
I know.
No,
but
we
there's
did for a while.
there's
We went to the
certain-
hypothetical.
Yeah, well, it's
But
nice
we did
that
start
he's
there.
very thorough.
Yeah,
And
he is
There's
very
certain
thorough.
parts of it.
Guys,
That's
he
how
had
my
to work
brain
on his
works. I got to
career,
take,
yes.
one step at a time. Will Vegas bounce back? We kind of talked about that. How long can this continue for the Oilers? 5 straight comeback victories. Like, can they really rely on that card every single time, or do they run out of juice eventually?
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. The latter there.
But Dusty on the post-game show brought up the Habs of that 93. Were they, 10 playoff wins?
10
overtime wins?
Yeah, that was
Most
crazy.
overtime wins in
Yeah.
Like,
playoffs. Yeah.
sometimes just it happened. Like, over the course of 3 months, maybe they don't blow it. Maybe every time they're behind, they find a way to come back. Like,
It's wild.
over a course of a full 82-game season, I would say it's not going to sustain. But over a course of a short, to a degree, short playoffs, it's not an 82-game season.
It's when you want to get hot.
Maybe that's all it is. So I don't
Maybe.
I don't know. But also, even if it's just, okay, let's say the next time they're behind, they don't come back and they lose. Doesn't mean they can't start winning again after that.
Yeah, that's true.
Drop a game here. Yeah, continue on everything. Depth galore. Connor Brown, man. That guy is a playoff performer.
Are we
TCN
getting
mark.
crazy starting to, well, you didn't like it yesterday, the Fernando Pisani.
Well, it's still in Michael Pekka mode.
Michael Pekka mode. What's
He's in-
after
he's
Michael
in that
Pekka
range.
mode?
Well, Pisani.
Where was Peter Klima on this list?
Oh, he was a downgrade.
down.
He was the down.
Yeah,
okay.
we had to downgrade.
Because you had Connor
to-
Brown as Peter Klima going into the playoffs last year,
yeah.
and then elevated to Pekka.
Totally redeemed himself. And people have put it out. I love how they've caught on to this. And they're like, how close is he to Fernando Pisani? Well, Fernando had, 14 goals in 06, which was a great run. He was Mr. Clutch. Connor Brown, that was a huge goal, like you brought up, Zach. He's been a playoff performer. He's continuing that trend this year. So it's that needle is starting to lean towards Fernando Pizzani, but he's going to need some more goals and key moments in the postseason. Got a lot of runway to work with. He might get there.
Well, with all the advanced stats and stuff, we might need a Fernando Pisani chart.
Well,
Like how they have the winometer and stuff.
Yeah, you should have created like a little chart of like when you're here, who's like whatever the worst Oiler playoff performer type thing. Then like your Marc-Andre Bergeron, and then you slowly work it up. And then there's like just an average person, and then there's like Peter Klima, Michael Pekka, and Fernando. You need to create that chart.
Yeah.
At least a 10-person list, like 1 out of 10, maybe 20 that have that differentiation. But
Yeah.
it could go up there,
Who's
yeah.
the Toby Peterson of the 24-25 Oilers playoffs? Toby Peterson scored a big goal in 2006. I think against Detroit, if I'm mistaken. Not
Hey,
mistaken.
there's David Desharnais.
David
Got an OT
Desharnais.
winner.
double D.
That's right.
Like I do think, but then you also have to get to like the negative play.
Yeah.
Like I don't think when Marc-Andre Bergeron doesn't go right to the bottom, but like it was bad. He took out the goalie.
It's submarine what was a pretty good play.
I think Steve Smith is higher than him, not lower than him.
Yeah, Steve Smith was one bad play.
And they had the rest of the game to come back.
More than 10 minutes. and
So
they
like there
point
is
that out.
but I think you may need the Tom Gazzola Oiler playoff chart.
We might
I'll
need
have
an
to think about
emergency team meeting here in the boardroom to discuss this further.
That might be overkill, but noted.
Noted. It's important though, right? No. It
Next
really
on your
isn't.
list.
All right. Okay. I'm just going to read everything on this list.
Yeah, I
know
know.
we've been
We'll
over it.
stop when there's one that we're going to discuss.
Vegas and their lack of scoring in the playoffs. Plus Jack Eichel is a -5.
Is he now?
He's got quite the minus on his resume.
take
Well,
a look at that.
plus 1 for Leon Draisaitl is the bet that Dusty made for his play of the
Plus
day.
1 or better for
Or better.
Leon on the Dusty's play of the day on Play Alberta.
Not insane goals against average for the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, I guess both.
You got a lot of
goaltenders are-
Oilers Golden Knights here.
Yeah, I do. Their defense might be lacking? Question mark. I don't know. The question mark out loud. Is Florida sleepy?
Is Florida sleepy? Or is Toronto just actually good?
Yeah,
Good question.
it's hard to want to give Florida or Toronto their credit. Of course, we kind of have that animosity against.
Well, you want to
against
see them
right?
lose.
True enough. I mean, Edmonton fans don't really like Toronto fans too much. You might know a family member or something like that in the back of your mind. If you realize they're a Toronto fan, you're like, I got something against Aunt Mary.
It's also the media part of that, how much the Leafs get shoved down our throats.
Yes. Good point.
Yeah,
That's the other part to
true
that.
enough.
By the way, before you get to the next thing, shout out to the New York Knicks, who go to Boston and take the first 2 games of that series.
Yeah, they came back from 20, didn't they?
They came back in both games from behind big time. And now they got to go, like they have 3 home games still left in this series. They need to go win 2. That's it. And they move on and they knock out the defending champs. Like this is, it's hard to think they're going to go sweep the Boston Celtics. Get that split at home. Don't allow the Boston Celtics to take home court back. You get that split. Man, 1 win in 3 games, including 1 being at home. Could the Knicks do this? And texting with Clausen yesterday, Brunson's not even having a great series. Like he hasn't even been Brunson yet. Like they haven't seen that great part of him yet. So a couple big comeback wins for the New York Knickerbockers.
Yes. Yeah. Got to sneak that in a sports update or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Knickerbockers is a fun one to say.
I didn't know that for a while, and then I heard it. I'm like, what? I had to go check that out. But yeah, no, that's her full name.
I like that you brought up the plus minus really quickly. Looking at the Golden Knights plus minus. Barbashev -6. Eichel, like you mentioned, Zach -5. Dorofeev, who's not playing -5. Theodore -4. Hannafin -4. Pearson -3. Hurdle -3. Olofsson -3. Whitecloud -3. Nicholas Waugh -2. Braden McNabb -1. Riley Smith -1. Mark Stone -1. They have 4+ players in the postseason. Brett Howden and Nick Hague at +1. Alex Pietrangelo and William Karlsson at +2. I think that's telling.
All defensive players. Though, no, for
Well,
the.
yeah,
the
Howden had
forehand.
20 goals this year.
Howden
Karlsson,
exploded this
yeah,
season.
Karlsson has offense too. He had an okay season. He missed a bunch of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, good point. A lot of minuses there.
Especially for like Hannafin, like that's not a good look. Like I don't know, for your defenders to have that's a lot of minuses. It's a lot of minuses.
of
They're never
minuses.
good.
Good
And
point,
plus minus is a stat that means whatever you think it means, but
It's an indicator.
it sometimes
Not
can be.
everything, though. Yeah.
Sometimes can
What
be.
else you got?
Carolina has always slept on the Hurricanes.
Very much so.
Bronco Nick's loving the Hurricanes right now. He called it like a domination over.
The thing about the Hurricanes is they've had some really good teams over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And they can't get over the hump.
I don't think they will again. I really don't.
So you think the Caps have them in this
I think
series?
the Caps will make it a series. I think the Caps could win this series. I would take the Caps in this series, to be honest with you, regardless of the suffocation.
Yeah.
I think
they're
the winner
born
of the
Team Carolina.
Atlantic beats the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
I second that.
And
as
I would
well.
like her. I do like my dislike of the Hurricanes has gone away.
I don't care for the Hurricanes.
I don't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing them have some sort of success again. I like the Storm Surge and stuff, and they had some fun players for a while there. I have no problem with the Hurricanes going to win.
Yeah. I'm indifferent towards them.
And they are such a boring team, but they do it so well. They're just so technical. It is hard to watch. It's not overly exciting hockey. There's not many chances on either side, but then when they get those chances, they get it in. They're very responsible, and I always connotate them with that and defensive play. Well, we mentioned this earlier in the show, but Rantanen absolutely being beastly. He's leading the playoffs in both goals and points right now. Nathan McKinnon was second on that list in goals. He had 7, which was wild,
playoff,
but not as good as his former teammate.
That's got to just hurt.
Oh, yeah. Sitting there and watching that.
Players.
Oof.
It's actually kind of cool though. McKinnon and Crosby are going to go play.
Yeah.
And they dragged Marc-Andre
Which
Fleury
I'm
with
wondering.
them.
Yeah, and that's part of that is like you announce your retirement. Are you retiring or not, dude? Like, but at the flip side, it's like I can see, hey, one more chance to go play with Crosby.
Yes.
That, and then I was like, oh no, okay, never mind. Like that.
It's neat. He's retiring.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
know.
an
but-
NHL sanctioned event.
And I like the idea though. It's like, you know, you spent a large part of your career with Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Go play with him again.
I
Yeah, go
think it's
for it.
really neat.
Who cares about the World Hockey Championships?
What about Macklin
Europeans.
Celebrini being there?
That's good. He can learn from Crosby.
There are a lot of great
And
players
McKinnon.
there. Yeah.
We don't care
It'll be
though
nice
as
to see.
Canadians for the most part.
That is true.
Like if Canada doesn't medal, there's no anger in Canada.
No.
We go, oh yeah. And then when we go in and we go on a run and we go win, we sit there and be like, oh, look at that. We're in the finals. Look at us go.
It's another
will-
warm up for Olympics. Perhaps.
Yeah,
for
kind
some
of. I
players.
think other countries take it more seriously than we do, like Maddie was alluding to. It is an awesome event, I will say. I had the chance to cover it, and it does mean way more to the international hockey community and European countries than it does to North Americans, and it's huge. Like it's awesome. It is first class. I thoroughly enjoyed covering it.
I'll be checking in on that for sure. But looking
It's
at
great watching hockey. It's one thing. It's great to have hockey during the day.
Yeah.
exactly.
Throw on hockey during the day.
Yep.
That's pretty good hockey.
That's true.
Something to throw in the sports updates.
It's the
There you go.
for the Olympics. What it's always used to be for the past was you had to show up to be considered for the Olympics. If you're kind of that fringe player of whether you're going to make it or not.
Yep.
That was the one thing. If you showed up year in and year out to the World Hockey Championships, you would have. There was always a thing that, well, if there's a debate for that sixth defenseman, let's say, the guy that went to the World Hockey Championships versus the guy that didn't go, but had like, didn't go not because they were still in the playoffs, but didn't go because they chose not to go.
Yeah.
They would defer to the person going.
Well, Sanheim's there too. He'll be there.
Yeah.
I think his name's escaping me, but I think both of the Philadelphia defensemen. Yeah. Sorry, not defenseman. Yeah, the other player, Konechny, will be there. So they were both rostered on Team Canada at the Four Nations. So that's another spot to try and battle, as you said there, and experience for like young players too. It's always nice to see players who don't regularly play together actually have that chance to just do it. Like that's the best part of hockey, man. Your countrymen coming together and playing, and I'm excited for international hockey, whatever it is, and to see actually Marc-Andre Fleury play probably his last time, and it'll be bittersweet with his former teammate as well. That the goaltending before that, like I didn't even know who was starting in the net. I can't lie. It was some
Last year?
No, this
No,
year
no,
they
for this
named
year.
one player.
Oh.
I
there
forgot
was
who it
one
was, but
goalie.
it was one that I went, oh, who? Like it was like I'm not in tune with who that one is.
Yeah.
This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Coming up next, it is the Lock Shop. We got two guys and a goalie. We've got EST Afternoons. We've got the Reed Wilkins Show. We then got the GCL Diesel Ulster pregame show. Tommy Hearn and Cass will get you set for Oilers Golden Knights, which gets going at 7:30. The pregame show live from Hudson's on Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. They'll also have the GCL Diesel Ulster post-game show. This is EST presented by Play Alberta. Zach, thanks for coming in earlier today. Appreciate it.
For
sure. Tommy, have a great pre and post
Thank
tonight.
you. I look forward
Thank you
to
to everyone for tuning in to the EST Hangout. On behalf of Zach, Tommy, I am Matt. Thanks again for tuning in. Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Play Alberta. Don't go anywhere.
Look at this. Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.